Leverkusen goalkeeper. He indeed is approaching a century of caps. This tonight is his 94th. Stall at right back, Hoskonen even off the two central defenders. Umanen comes in at left back. He plays his football in the MLS for Charlotte under the former Aston Villa manager Dean Smith. You've got Glenn Kamara, the former Leeds United midfielder. Rasmus Schüller, who came off at half-time but has recovered from injury. Peltola also in the midfield. Jensen, Keskian, who we've talked about here, of the
Tonight,
Wayne Rooney
tattoo,
and Teemu Pukki, the former Norwich striker. As now we remember the former England manager, Sven-Göran Eriksson.
Sven took charge of the Three Lions from 2001 to 2006, leading our nation to 2 FIFA World Cups and a UEFA European Championship. Sadly, Sven wasn't the only member of the England family we've lost in recent months. This evening we also pay tribute to former England coach Craig Shakespeare, ex-under-21 and B international Kevin Campbell, and Tommy Banks, who won 6 caps and competed at the 1958 World Cup. We will always remember them.
Tommy Banks, who passed away back in June at the age of 94. He was a left back. 6 times he was capped in 1958. England under-21 striker Kevin Campbell, 4 appearances, and Craig Shakespeare, who sat here in this very commentary box with 5 Live, part of the coaching setup alongside Sam Allardyce in 2016. And for Sven-Göran Eriksson, 67 games as the England manager. Indeed, his first competitive game in charge for England was against Finland back in 2001 at Anfield, a World Cup qualifier. 30 games at home, but he actually never managed at Wembley because, of course, the National Stadium was being rebuilt. 14 different venues, but a lovely tribute to all that had passed away. As we're underway on BBC Radio 5 Live, England are all in white, playing from left to right as we look against Finland, all in royal blue. As Alexander-Arnold looks for an early throw on this right-hand side, and then Harry Kane plays it out towards Gordon. And Gordon over on that far side, the left, in front of the jumping up and down Finnish supporters on that far side, the left, but already Matt, England on the front foot.
Yeah, shaky start for Finland, not particularly confident, really messed about with the ball at the back, and England getting right after them, applying early pressure high up the pitch. It's a brilliant evening for a game, lovely slick surface.
And Grealish running forward, Gordon on the left, Gordon cuts the ball back, Grealish inside the penalty area with his back to goal, plays it back to Angel Gomez, only 5'5", so he really is a diminutive midfielder, but he's tidy on the ball, he's a versatile midfielder, and already, England have slotted into a nice early rhythm.
Yeah, good start from England, imposing their authority on the match. It came from a real early throw from Trent Alexander-Arnold. He just fizzed it, picked the ball up, fizzed it into Harry Kane, looking to get Anthony Gordon on the ball on that wide left very early on.
Persistent light rain is falling here at Wembley as Gordon, running on his toes, far side the left, enters the penalty area. The little link up with Harry Kane, the little flick inside didn't quite come off, cleared away. Adam Stall, the right back, was there. He made his debut in that position against Greece at the weekend. He's got dual citizenship. He's only actually committed his international football to Finland for this first squad. There's Alexander-Arnold already in that inverted role, occupying a central area inside the centre circle. As Stones hits a ball, a diagonal one in the air, out towards this near side. Controlled well by Saka. Alexander-Arnold hits it early in an outstretched leg by Glenn Kamara. And now all of a sudden there's a potential break on here. And it's Keskian who leads the charge. Bearing in mind that England lost their last home game before the Euros to Iceland by a 0-0. It was a little counter-attack from, I recall, so they've got to be wary of that.
Yeah, he showed his pace there, didn't he? Keskinen, really good turn of pace. The ball dropped for him. It was a little bit of a loose header. He anticipated it, picked it up, and then just wanted to drive. And you're right, Deno, we've got a lot of bodies committed forward, and the full-backs, you've already touched on it, obviously they're in the full-back position, but when England have got the ball, they're going into midfield, they're getting high up the pitch. There's a real freedom to play, and you've just got to be a little bit careful on that transition.
The full-backs that Matt Upson is talking about, Rico Lewis on that far side. It's his first appearance at Wembley for England. He made his debut at left-back against North Macedonia away in November 2023. As the Manchester City youngster shuffles the ball out towards Gordon, who from a standing start accelerates and then delivers the cross, and there's Harry Kane, and rather than going for goal, he heads it back across goal, very similar to the type of position where he scored his debut goal all those years ago against Lithuania, but he didn't go for goal on this occasion.
Surprised you that?
Yeah.
It did a little bit me. I thought he was going to just go for the goal early on in the game, try and hit the target. He saw a better opportunity in the box. He didn't get too much kind of power or purchase on the header. I think he might have made that decision quite last minute, it looked to me, and I was expecting him to go for goal.
Yeah, the thoughts of Izzy in a moment after the corner kick. That debut goal, 3,455 days ago. It came across from the left, then from Sterling. In comes the cross from the left now with a corner from Alexander-Arnold. Up in the air it goes and hooked away inside the penalty area by Teemu Pukki. But England have still got the ball, and it's now with Gordon on that far side. Gordon waits to deliver the cross, plays the ball back. Alexander-Arnold actually in the central area, shuffles it square. And at the minute, Finland just can't get out. Here is Harry Kane. He's being pressurised a little bit by Schüller. Back to Alexander-Arnold, who now pings the ball across towards Grealish, and Grealish now is coming in off the left touchline. Gordon's the one in the central area. Rice hits it first time, then misses it. Just sliced it in the wet conditions. Just skimmed away off his right boot. England try and win it back through Rice, and Finland are able to clear. But what about that chance for Harry Kane?
You know what? I really liked what he did. He looks to head it back across goal into the path of Bukayo Saka, who's lurking in that 6-yard box. But I think the angle was a little bit tight from Harry Kane, but I completely understand the surprise that many would have felt that Harry Kane didn't go for goal there. But good state of mind he's in. He's looking for his teammate there. I liked it.
It was a sterling cross against Lithuania after 79 seconds of his England debut. It really was stuff of fairy tales. Back then in 2015, as Pickford came under late pressure from Pukki, and it's run out of play for a goal kick, as on a gloomy, dank night, Jordan Pickford in his luminous all-orange goalkeeping outfit away towards his left is certainly a bright figure as he leaves it for John Stones. Just a word on Sven-Göran Eriksson, your former manager. Your debut for South Africa, Durban 2003, and 19 of your caps were actually under. No, in fact, you were in the squad 19 times under Sven.
Yes, I'll never forget meeting him for the first time, kind of walking into a dining room, and just such a warmth, a very kind of gentle persona, really kind of relaxed you. You're nervous, you're in your first camp, and totally took the sting out of it. And so such a pleasant person, a real football man, but first and foremost, a really top human being.
6 minutes played. England are attacking 0-0. BBC Radio 5 Live are also available live on the BBC Sounds app. As Gordon pushes the ball past his marker, Stall cuts back inside. Lewis is inside the penalty area. Out of the box it goes for Grealish. Plays it towards Gordon, left corner of the box. England keeping the ball very, very well. It was quite congested for a time on that left-hand side. Now it's with Stones outside the centre circle. Gomez on his first start gets away from Pukki, passes the ball out to Grealish. He was so involved in that impressive first 45 minutes in Dublin. Relished that roaming role, didn't he, against the Republic of Ireland. As Konsa out towards Alexander-Arnold. But because Finland are so compact, England are going to have to be patient.
But we've looked great when we've switched the ball. The beauty about having the technicians that like Alexander-Arnold, when he switches that play, it really does catch Finland out.
Gordon quickly delivers the cross over the head of Saka, tried to head it. He was on the run, right-hand side of the 6-yard box. Ball played in by Alexander-Arnold to Saka, lifts over the cross. Harry Kane is there, left-footed on the volley. Completely skied it, but it's taken a deflection, corner kick.
Wild players are having an absolute field day so far. Bukayo Saka and Anthony Gordon off the left, and on that occasion Bukayo Saka finding a really crafty dink to the back post to Harry Kane, peeling off, and he's gone for it, the left foot volley in those golden boots, but it's gone way over. He's got a corner though.
Netherlands are leading Germany by a goal to nil. Tijani Reinders has scored an early goal. They both scored 5 at the weekend in their opening games in League A. They're in the same group with Hungary and Bosnia. But it's the Netherlands who are 1-0 up there. Still goalless in Dublin between the Republic of Ireland and Greece in England's Nations League group. As on that far side, the left, it'll be a corner kick. Alexander-Arnold to take it. It's an in-swinger. It's punched away by Radetzky, the goalkeeper, 34 years of age, had that excellent season for Bayer Leverkusen. He's now in his 7th season with them, but of course that was where they only had that one defeat out of 53 as Gordon delivers the cross. Cut out though by a stretching Robert Ivanoff at the back there for Finland. Now they play the ball forward to Fredrik Jensen, who's away on the right, but in fact he's stopped in his tracks and the ball goes out of play, and it will be a Finland throw and offers them a little bit of respite.
I love the directness of Anthony Gordon, I have to say. You know, that area of the pitch for England has been, you know, such a big topic over the summer, hasn't it, in terms of have we got the right balance or the right player in that part of the field. And Anthony Gordon, for me, really does look the part. The way he runs in behind, the timing of his runs, anything slipped in behind or over the top, I think it just adds a different dimension. It adds something different for a defender to think about. And twice already he's got the wrong side of Ståhl in the right back position for Finland, and if you just give him the space, you see Rico Lewis not pushing up and trying to link up, he's just staying back and give Anthony Gordon that space to be direct and use his running.
Lee Carsley is crouching in his technical area, watching on, the interim head coach. When John asked him yesterday about his Wembley experiences, he said, I've watched a few games there, and then I came to see Bruce Springsteen here in July. 548 appearances in his playing career. It was a 20-year playing career, but this is his first involvement at the National Stadium. As Saka on the right-hand side, back to Alexander-Arnold. Now with Konsa, every outfield player is in the half away towards our right-hand side. I've been playing for 10 minutes on BBC Radio 5 Live, still 0-0. As Konsa comes forward, just edges his way for the centre circle, out towards Saka on this near side. Saka waits to deliver. Alexander-Arnold is in close proximity. Indeed, here he is, and in the opening 10 minutes, England have had 92% possession. That is how much they are dominating these early exchanges here at Wembley on BBC Radio 5 Live. Very much Finland are just trying to contain England at this stage. They've never ever beaten England in their previous 11 meetings. And the way that they're shaping up tonight, they're going to struggle to lay a glove on those all in white. As Stones passes the ball out towards Grealish. Gordon waits, gets the ball now on that left-hand side. Ståhl is in front of him. They've doubled up on Gordon. Back to goes Grealish once again. Passes the ball short. Grealish then makes the run into the penalty area. Gordon, though, doesn't deliver the cross. Left corner of the area. Now he shifts it onto his right foot. Passes the ball back to Lewis. Gomez. He will drill the ball out to this near side. Spreads it out towards Alexander-Arnold. Hits it on the half volley. Down into the ground. Kamara now can break for Finland. Rice goes towards him. And out towards Keskin, and it will go out of play for a throw.
I like the thinking of Gomez there, because it was so long England had the ball short, try and look for that opening. He was so keen to hit a longer pass, and that for me is going to be the answer tonight. You've already mentioned they're so, the low block, the way they're sat in, they're compact, they're narrow. If you can switch that play quickly with one pass, bang out to the far side, you give your wingers that space to do their damage. And I think that once England get those short passes off, there needs to be that bigger switch, and then you're in business with the space.
Just talking with Bruce Springsteen, the way it's shaped up so far for Finland tonight, it's going to be a hell of a night shift for them, isn't it? They're going to have to certainly have a lot of hungry hearts.
It's a tumbleweed. Izzy, you on that one?
I'm laughing. I knew
ball
what
played through. Pukki inside the penalty area was a snapshot. And that was a little bit of a glimpse there, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is where England have to be really switched on, because, like you say, the possession stats massively in England's favour, but you know they've got to be switched on. Anything can happen. But I think Angel Gomez has looked really good in that sort of holding midfield role so far, sweeping up.
Corner kick then to Finland.
It was a beautiful flick round the corner. I think it was Jensen, dropped in the middle of the pitch and flicked it with the outside of his right boot. Lovely ball.
In comes the corner kick. It certainly required Rico Lewis to be alert, bearing in mind playing at left back, he was the one on the cover. just to come across to Pukki. The former Norwich striker now plays his football for Minnesota United. All-time top scorer as Keskian runs into to Lewis. The referee, who is actually from Denmark, Morten Krogh, keeps the game moving, and Pickford clears, and his clearance goes straight out of play for a throw. 13 minutes played. England were good in the first half, and then second half in Dublin just seemed to play within themselves. There was just that little bit of a lack of control for a moment there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's uncommon, is it, when you build up a lead and you're so dominant as what they were in the first half in Dublin, and then quite frequently you do see teams just see the game out when they were comfortable, weren't they? And that's not uncommon for me. I think these evenings at home against teams that are just not going to be able to get off the edge of the 18-yard box and prove a real problem, I think that's where you really do have to drive the tempo at home and have, it's almost fake urgency, because there isn't that much pressure when England have the ball, but you've got to move it quickly and be creative.
If you remember back to the early days of Gareth Southgate's reign, the one thing that irked him was the paper aeroplanes, as one has just sort of like sailed its way and landed onto the playing surface here at Wembley. Yesterday they probably sold around 65,000 tickets. They're thinking of maybe a crowd of around 70,000 here tonight. There are a few empty red seats on this miserable night in the capital. 0-0 still, quarter of an hour nearly played. Carsley just having a word with Ashley Cole, who spotted something, as Lewis on that far side. Back to Stones, who came on as a late substitute for the last 5 minutes for Maguire at the weekend. Rice delivers the cross from the right and easily saved by the goalkeeper Radetzky.
Yeah, that was the one good switch of play from John Stones. Matt called it a few moments ago that the large switch of play is going to be important for England, and a third man run from Declan Rice, and I can see what he's trying to do, fizz it across that 6-yard box, but goalkeeper read it.
The voice of Izzy Christiansen, also in the company of Matt Upson here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Premier League is back this weekend. Mark Chapman from midday. 2 games at Anfield, Liverpool, Nottingham Forest at 3, the usual goal service. Aston Villa, Everton at 5:30. And then Spurs, Arsenal, the North London derby at 2, Wolves, Newcastle to follow at 4:30. All those games live on BBC Radio 5 Live. Alexander-Arnold, short ball, gets it back from Saka. With Declan Rice suspended and the injury for Ødegaard last night for Norway, Jean-Michel Arteta will be hoping that Saka comes through this game unscathed, as Konsa passes the ball to Gomez, the Lille midfielder. Lewis has also popped up in a central area and he's wanting the ball, but they've switched it back out towards the right-hand side. And this is, again, something similar to what we talked about at the weekend. When you're playing against sides such as Finland and Ireland, as they are in this group, there does need to be a little bit of context, because you're not going to be able to maybe play your fullbacks in the inverted roles as they are now. You won't certainly have the same level of possession that England are currently enjoying, as Gordon with the cross, and equally the opposition wanting to sit back and sit so deep.
It's a different puzzle, isn't it? And I think sometimes these ones are the harder ones to unpick. It can be really difficult to create that space, and it's no surprise to me that every time something's created, it's because there has been a longer ball, which John Stones has just tried to hit there, but it's a bit floaty, too much time in the air, gives the fullback Stall enough time just to get back into position, head the ball out of play, and now Finland are reset again. They're a back 4, 3 sat in front, 3 in front of them, but they're dropping into a 5 at times in the midfield when England are in their half, and they really are camped in there at the moment.
Well, Stones now out to Saka on this near side. Declan Rice being pursued by Rasmus Schüller. Konsa now has it in the centre circle. They've just pushed up a little bit there, but as England have the ball just outside the centre circle, they're sort of like all the outfield players are squeezed into that middle third of the Finland half. Gordon on the left-hand side. Lewis miscontrols it, runs through towards Gomez. Harry Kane now will play the ball out towards Alexander-Arnold. Saka's in the penalty area. Cross from Alexander-Arnold strikes the body of Keskian up into the air. Lewis keeps it alive. England trying to pass the ball quickly, trying to keep that tempo quite high. Lewis on the edge of the area. Rice back to Alexander-Arnold, doesn't deliver it straight away. Out towards the right touchline for Rice once more. 18 minutes played, still 0-0. So they are moving this Finland defence around, but they just can't get the penetration.
Yeah, the thing is, when you're playing against a team that are sitting like this, you want pressure. Because they're not pressing, you've got to go and find the pressure yourself, and you've got to go 1v1. You've got to go and play teasing passes.
Gordon's done well, sends over the cross, and it takes a deflection and goes behind for a corner.
And that's what these wide players do really well for England in this match, especially Saka and Gordon. Their attributes are to go 1v1. They're so good at teasing the player towards them and then bursting away from them, and this is a game that's going to require that. It's not a game which has got a lot of space in to run. It's about being clean and tidy in possession, drawing Finland out.
Came off the legs of Glenn Kamara, born in Finland, moved to London at the age of 12. Indeed, he played his club football before he went to Southend United as a youngster for a team about 4 miles away here at Ladbroke Grove. Corner kick, far side, punched away by Radetzky. Got both fists to it, comes to Saka, right corner of the area. The latest centurion in the men's game, Harry Kane, on the right-hand side, plays it back to Angel Gomez. Out to Grealish. Just had to go away from a little bit, allow Pukki to put him under pressure. Gets away from Pukki, moves the ball to his left. Far side, Alexander-Arnold, who took the corner kick and has stayed on that left flank. 19 minutes played and still 0-0 on BBC Radio 5 Live. Ball over the top, aimed towards Harry Kane. It's a lovely lifted ball, but alert defending by Robert Ivanov, just to prevent it from reaching the England captain.
He actually does well there, Ivanov, because Harry Kane was just sliding in behind him, and he just kind of flicked his right foot up in the air and just stopped the ball from going past him. It was a good delivery, and I think, you know, it has to come in quickly, different angles. You get an opportunity to put the ball in the box, just put it in there. Ask the question. They can, if it gets cleared, it could land at someone's feet. It just goes out to the edge of the box. It gets recycled. But I think the more England can ask the question, you might get a mistake. It's a really slippery, greasy turf with a bit of drizzle coming on it. Just really ask the question as often as you can.
Gordon once again seeing a lot of the ball. Grealish gets it from the Newcastle United player. Just moves away from the Finnish defence, all in royal blue. Konsa plays it forward. Gomez took it into his feet neatly, threads it through. Here is Harry Kane. Good shot and a good save by Radetzky. Got it out of his feet quite early, right-footed. Comfortable height for the keeper. Parried out, cross comes back in, and this time Ivanov heads it away. And the first real moment. But now there is a break. Keskian running forward. Pukki is up with him. Keskian running at the heart of the England defence. Keskian still going. Enters the penalty area onto his right foot. Curling effort, right-footed. And it curls wide. And all of a sudden we had a chance at either end in the space of, 60 seconds.
Well, it's the third time he's scared England with his pace there, Keskian. I mean, he is not shy of being direct and wanting to drive and run at the England defenders the moment there's a bit of space, and there's so much of it because England are so dominant. He just wants to run into it, runs John Stones, who does quite well, and just gets his shot off.
Can England maybe exploit those gaps as the Finnish players start to retreat from that effort from Aberdeen's new signing? They picked him up for £1 million in the summer. It was a 4-year deal from Helsinki. 3 appearances so far for the Dons, just the 1 goal against Queen's Park. As the ball threaded through, here is Saka, steadies himself, takes a deflection, going goalwards, outstretched arm from Radetzky, claws it away. And all of a sudden, there are chances starting to appear for both sides.
Oh, straight like an arrow down the middle of the Finnish block. It was Angel Gomez fizzed it into Trent Alexander-Arnold on the half turn. We wouldn't normally expect Trent Alexander-Arnold to be more advanced than Angel Gomez, but the pass was absolutely delightful into the path of Bukayo Saka, who looks to square it into an area. It comes off the defender and the keeper does really well. The reflexes are brilliant to keep it out of his own net.
Had that remarkable season in Germany last year, the Bundesliga champions for Bayer Leverkusen. But his debut was 14 years ago. Certainly had to be alert.
That was good piece of goalkeeping. Really good, because the deflection came up. It's hard for a goal. You throw your body weight one way, it's so hard to stop it, get back up and then adjust, and it ricochets back out. Really does react very well, Radetzky.
Saka on the right-hand side with the cross and the header from Harry Kane, but the flag is up and it will not count. And on his landmark occasion, he knew straight away, I think he was looking. So we're midway through the first half, like Lee Carsley, you know. Last time I was here was watching Bruce Springsteen in the summer, watching The Boss, and now we'll be hearing from the man who we call the Chief.
That's enough Bruce Springsteen, Ed. So, 0-0. But Kane, he's had one saved. He's got the ball in the net, Matt, but from an offside position. Well, it does feel, I have to say, that there was an era of inevitability that Kane somehow will get his name on the score sheet tonight. And hang on a minute, because we still haven't.
Yeah.
We still haven't ruled this out.
It's tight.
The video assistant referee Rob Deeperink is still watching this in a studio somewhere or other, so this could be it. Let's see. Still, this must be very tight.
It's not a nice way to celebrate your
No, it's certainly not.
100th cap
I mean, this
goal,
could,
though, is it? I mean,
this could be Harry Kane scoring on his 100th appearance for England.
well, Gordon's onside. Gordon's behind him. I think he looks offside from where I am, but whether or not the foot of Stall is playing him onside.
Here's the signal, and it is offside. Confirmed, still 0-0.
Yeah, it's a shame because if he leaves it, Anthony Gordon probably scores, because Anthony Gordon's run is from deeper and there's two England players right in line for the header. Saka doesn't think twice, cuts him on his left foot, whips it to the back post. Really good delivery, and like I said, if he just keep putting the ball in there, we have the movement and the quality to get on the end of it.
Angel Gomez is fouled on his first start for England here. First appearance for England here at Wembley, after coming on as a substitute in Dublin on Saturday. I can tell you that in one of the other matches in League B, Nations League B, Czechia are winning 1-0 against Ukraine. Still Netherlands 1, Germany 0. And here on 5 Live from the BBC Sounds as well, on this wet night at Wembley Stadium, with somewhere between 60 and 70,000 people, I would imagine, watching in the stands, and the rain pouring down. It's 0-0, and here's Alexander-Arnold on the right-hand side, but the covering challenge is there, and the ball bounces away via a deflection from the defender onto Alexander-Arnold and through for a goal kick. And Izzy Christiansen, Matt Upson, you don't have to be a tactical genius to work out Finland's approach tonight, do you? Be very, very solid, stay behind the ball, 4-5-1, but look for the breakaway.
Absolutely. Test England, test that moment when England are committing players forward. That's what Finland are looking to do. They're taking their time, building out from the back here.
Radetzky, the goalkeeper, played it out, and Rice, who's playing in a very advanced role, Declan Rice, for England, with Angel Gomez playing really as the holding midfielder, and then joined by Trent Alexander-Arnold in there, but Rice really pushing far, a long way forward.
It was very kind of Arsenal-esque, isn't it? You know, the way he plays in the midfield for Arsenal, gets really high.
He's now being tackled, and Keskinen is under this, and what a chance for Keskinen, and from the D, he's got right underneath it in his green boots and sent it spiralling away over the top of the crossbar by a distance. Probably hit that, I don't know, 6-7 yards over the top of the crossbar, but it really opened up for the Aberdeen man.
Should do miles better. It's a brilliant tackle. Declan Rice a little bit sloppy on the ball. Great tackle from midfield. I think it was Peltola with the tackle to win the ball. And like you said, Keskinen, who's looked a real threat with his pace, just had a moment where he had to show a bit of composure, a bit of quality, hit the target, and it's a poor finish from him. Really, best opportunity they've had so far in the game, Finland.
Yeah, Topi Keskinen of Aberdeen, the Celtic number 2 goalkeeper. Sinisalo is on the bench as well for Finland, and so is Exeter City's Ilmari Niskanen, who we may see in the second half. Thomas Galvez as well of Manchester City, who's on loan in Austria. Here's Anthony Gordon on the left-hand side. He's been bright, but really England are just having to pick a way through this packed Finnish blue defence. Grealish now to the fair head. Gordon on the left-hand side, the Newcastle United man. Back to Gomez of Lille, the first man playing for Lille to win a full cap for England. Lewis, now Rico Lewis of Manchester City, near the edge of the box, but Finland are able to clear away, and then it's played forward by Peltola, but dealt with by England at the back. John Stones, who's seen relatively little football this season, and then Gomez with a long ball through the middle for Kane to chase, but Radetzky was out very quickly, and just at that moment my eye was caught by another paper plane being thrown down from the stands. That's how it started and ended for Gareth Southgate, if you remember, here at Wembley, his first match against Malta when he was the interim. There were paper planes coming down from all quarters that night, and in that match against Iceland, just before the Euros, his last match at Wembley, likewise, when England lost to Iceland. Here's Saka against another Nordic nation, Finland. Saka going one way and the other end of the byline, and the cross is blocked behind by the defender. Keskinen, corner for England from the right this time.
I mean, it's always going to be a little bit of the nature of the game, isn't it? This type of fixture is going to be a bit of a paper aeroplane match, isn't it, John? You know, where people are going to get a little bit lured into it, not being as exciting and as combative as what you'd like because of the huge swing in possession and dominance that England have, and it just makes the game difficult.
The golf as well. Finland ranked 63 in the world. England, one of the best teams around, just come off the back of getting to a final, fourth in the world rankings if you look at that. But this Nations League B is where they're meeting, and you have to win the group to get promoted to the top division. So there's been a bit of pushing and shoving, still waiting for the corner. Danish referee's ready now. Saka, left-footed, into the 6-yard box, and Konza in there actually, who was trying to get his head to it just over the top of the Aston Villa man. And now Glenn Kamara, the former Leeds United man, number 6 on his back. He's playing in France as well, just like Angel Gomez. Plays for Rennes now after his move this summer for around about £10 million. Finland go back towards the edge of their own penalty area, and then it's turned back to Radetzky. Finland trying to play out from the back. Peltola is fouled by Gomez, and it's a free kick to Finland in their own box. I think they're dicing with danger, Finland.
Well, I'm not comfortable watching it, Izzy. Are you?
Well, no, absolutely not. They're looking to play out from the back now, Finland. The last couple of opportunities.
Listen, they know what they are. Be solid. And go for the counter-attack.
Yeah, they're looking to fizz the ball into the midfield. They're coming to show.
The back.
Well, they've done it twice now. They've gone long on this occasion, but the last couple, they're looking to have a little go, just maybe to catch England off guard. But Angel Gomez there with really good pressure.
The risk and reward don't add up for them, does it? Because I don't think they're going to have the possession to be able to then play through the lines and get through the other side. So you're putting yourself in a position where you've worked so hard to be disciplined and resilient and hard to beat, and if you turn the ball over and concede a goal doing that on the edge of the 18-yard box, you just kind of think, well, what's the point?
I mean, they do have, of course, an excellent goalkeeper, one of the best around, really, Radetzky, the captain, the Bayer Leverkusen captain.
And I'm sure he'll want to play, but you know, in realistic terms,
Xabi Alonso tells him
absolutely
that's exactly what he has to do. But it is England back in possession, 0-0 on the night. Harry Kane has had the ball in the net on the occasion of his 100th cap for England. I did feel for little Louis before the match, his third child, the 3-year-old, who's been brought over from Germany today with 3 of his children, as Ian was mentioning. Louis couldn't face the Wembley crowd and had to be kept off the field. The ball's played forward now for Saka on the right-hand side, but Saka's cross is cut out in the middle by Hoskonen, who deflected over the top of his own crossbar. Another corner to England, though. Almost opened them up there. Yeah,
it was a lovely pass by Konsa, just getting himself into an advanced position. He sliced the ball in between the centre-back and full-back into Bukayo Saka. And I think Declan Rice was lurking for the cutback, but Harry Kane was on the final shoulder who Bukayo Saka was looking for.
Right, packed penalty area. Finland have got everyone in there, all 11 in the all blue. England in the all white have got 2 men at the far post, just watching Harry Kane on the edge of the 6-yard box. Anthony Gordon's on the goal line with Peltola, and Saka now delivers it to the near post, and one of the defenders just throws his body at it and blocks it away. Back to the Arsenal man Saka on the right-hand side. I'm fairly confident he won't play the whole match, Bukayo Saka, with the North London derby this weekend, having started in Dublin. Here's Rico Lewis, who then goes back to little Angel Gomez. He's a tiny figure, isn't he, Gomez? Now back to the right-hand side to Alexander-Arnold, and then Saka back to the Liverpool man again, Alexander-Arnold, the only man of the back 4 who kept his place from Dublin. Maguire and Gay and Colwill all on the bench this evening. Here's Gordon now, still on the right-hand side. Anthony Gordon playing the ball into the penalty area, but straight at Glenn Kamara, who's able to clear for Finland. Comes back to Alexander-Arnold. Lots of white shirts forward. Alexander-Arnold, long diagonal ball. Rice gets it down far side. He's taking it out into the full-back position. Comes back to Grealish, left corner of the box. Grealish square to his club colleague Lewis. Back to Grealish, and it just took a flick off the defender, and Grealish knew that it was going behind for a corner, so left it corner from the left-hand side.
Yeah, nice link up, good running off the ball from Jack Grealish, plays it inside and then continues that run diagonally. I think it's good tracking. I think it's Jensen in the end who's all the way back there doing a defensive job for his team. He just toes the ball out for a corner.
Yeah, next to where the Finnish supporters are, around about 1,500 of them taken short. Grealish, then Saka with a shot which is deflected, took it wide by probably a couple of yards, just skittering over that wet surface that we have here tonight. And another corner that Alexander-Arnold is going to go across and take. Jack Grealish, who scored the second goal on Saturday. Remarkable, really, with Rice and Grealish scoring the goals that day. Grealish yet to score for England here at Wembley. Alexander-Arnold then steps away from the angle. Harry Kane just backs away to the far post. Across it comes, finds Kane, who gives it back to Saka. 22 yards out, Saka on his left foot, shoots, but that is wide and high as well, and bounces into the hoardings and all of those England flags in front of the stand to our right, and it's still 0-0, is he, Christiansen?
Yeah, absolutely, why not? Saka having a go from distance, he shifts the ball onto his left foot really well. It's off a corner routine, headed to the back post. Kane just knocks it down into Saka's path, creates the space to get a shot off, and he just thrashes at it. But he's looked so sharp, Saka. He seems to get more and more mature with every performance when I've seen him play in an England shirt.
Lee Carsley down there in his maroon top, the England tracksuit, dark coloured bottoms, and Markku Kanerva just standing to his right, the experienced coach of Finland.
He's a croucher, isn't he?
He is, yes,
Carsley.
Yeah. As it's played forward into the England half, but Stones will tidy that up.
It's like a little stool, you know, like Bielsa.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
He like the kind of ice box, didn't he?
Yeah, he's right down on his haunches now. Lee Carsley, his second match, his first one here at Wembley. He was saying yesterday that he has been asked to take charge of these three camps, even though publicly the FA have said he's got it for September and then we'll see. But he said he's been asked to take charge for all 6 matches this autumn. Here's Lewis to Gordon on the left-hand side. Gordon against Stoll, the right back, then comes back onto his right foot, back to Gomez. Gomez clips one in, right-footed into the penalty area. Kane gambled, but it was headed away by Ivanov, the left-sided central defender. Now Saka into the area, cutting in field, trying to find the opportunity to shoot, which he does, but the Finns were up to that, and it was blocked away on the edge of the box. And it comes again, though, for Grealish to cross towards Kane, who got his head to it, and the referee says Kane shoved the defender, and it's a free kick to Finland.
He does well there, the Finnish left-back, Uranen, sticks to Saka like glue. I mean, how many times have we seen Bukayo Saka get that half a yard coming inside the pitch to get his shot off? We saw it in the summer, you'll see it for Arsenal, you'll see it time and time again against top players. And I think maybe because they're so compact, the space isn't there, that you can get nice and tight, and your partners or your teammates next to you, if you get beat, somebody else is in line to step in and get the block in. But they're being very resilient at the moment. England have to either move it quicker, or, like they have done on occasion, switch that play quickly with real quality, fizz those passes from central to wide or cross field, and hopefully then the wide players can get that space to get out the fullbacks isolated.
I think the rain has just eased, but there is still drizzle coming down here in northwest London in England. A rare moment when the ball is deep in the England half to our left. Alexander-Arnold clears to the halfway line. Kane can't reach that, and Finland have got possession back inside their own penalty area. Yes, I suspect in the Kane family that will be a running family gag for decades, won't it? When Louis couldn't face coming out onto the pitch for his dad's 100th appearance. In 15 years' time, he'll groan at everyone ever brings that up.
How old is he, John? Is he 3?
He's 3.
Give him a chance.
Well, they won't be mentioning it now, but give them 10 years. It'll get mentioned at every family gathering. Here's Stones, just turning the ball back to Pickford, winning his 70th cap tonight. Jordan Pickford, the 5th man to play in goal 70 times for England. Ukraine have equalised against Czechia in Group B1. That's where it is still Albania 0, Georgia 0. And it is still 0-0 here at Wembley. Lee Carsley still waiting for his first goal as interim coach here in this stadium. Here is Esri Konza, coming in tonight. Konza to win his 8th cap, and then Alexander-Arnold trying to slip the ball through the middle, but central defender Hoskonen was able to slide in and put it behind for another England corner. They're mounting up. This is number 7.
Yeah, it just feels a matter of time, doesn't it? Before there's going to be a lapse of concentration at some point. A defender's not going to fill in the right hole, or England going to pick the right pass at the right angle. I think that may have been offside had it got the other side of the defender. Harry Kane just creeping, but there's a lot of pressure building in that 6-yard box for Finland. Yeah,
Saka again. Little steps from him, then in comes the corner, left-footed towards the back post. Finnish head gets to it, and the referee spots another foul, and it's Hoskonen on the ground again, so it's another free kick to Finland. But I mean, it's so congested in there for every set piece. As I say, Finland are bringing everyone back, but they're looking for the break, and Radetzky, the goalkeeper, takes this free kick, and it's over the top of Gomez, and now they're breaking through the middle, and Timo Pukki was racing to the edge of the box, but Groans throws his eyes to the skies because it was intercepted, and England now come forward with Declan Rice, and here's his Arsenal teammate on the right hand side. Rice suspended for Sunday, remember, and then Rice, who I think might have been in an offside position, takes the ball, shrugs off the defender, still going, there's no flag yet, and so Saka now again to Kane inside the box with his golden boots, the England captain, then back to Alexander-Arnold, back again to Saka on the right flank. Kane makes the run down to the byline. I'm not sure he's going to get there. He clips it across. The flag, it does now go up. The ball was behind before Kane was able, on his last stretch, to cross it. So goal kick to Finland, 0-0.
Yeah, that relationship between Saka and Rice on this right-hand side. Rice just sort of works off Saka. He just goes into the space, either for the run to receive the pass, or he just creates the space for Saka to come inside. And I think in the wider perspective of the match, what Lee Carsley is looking at in this game is which players are combining well with each other, because a game like this requires a lot of off-ball movement, a lot of players doing opposite movements to kind of create that half a yard, and there's been some really good signs on this right for England so far.
It is Finland though. Jensen on the right hand side. Jensen tries to get it back. In fact, it's played back across by Pukki to the right flank. The right back, Ståhl, is there as well. This is all on the right for Finland, but England are able to nick it back. And Gomez up to Grealish. Grealish is in danger of losing out here if he's not careful, to Peltola, but does well actually. He's been around the block a few times, Jack Grealish, and indeed today it's happy birthday, Jack Grealish. 29 today. Grealish carrying the ball just up to the halfway line and then flicks it off to Saka. And then Gordon, Rico Lewis, and then back to Saka on the halfway line. That's what Gordon and Saka want. They want to have a run at these Finnish defenders, but the well organised Saka takes it out to the left-hand side. Gordon does make a run down into the full-back position, but it goes back out to Lewis, and now Grealish as well. Grealish, little ball into the penalty area, bounces away from Saka, and Ståhl, the blonde-haired right back, is able to get there first and clear it away towards the halfway line. The respite from the rain was brief. It's now come on very heavy again here at Wembley Stadium, as Alexander-Arnold hits a pass over the top for Saka to chase to the byline on the left-hand side, cuts back onto his right foot, still going. Saka stabs it across. Cameras threw himself at it, he blocked it away. Lewis, suddenly England up it. Alexander-Arnold's low shot just past the foot of the far post, skimming the surface, sending water spinning up, but wide behind. Goal kick, 0-0.
Well, whenever England look for that ball in behind and the run is there, then there's trouble, and Saka makes a really good run on the opposite side. He just can't quite find the cutback once he gets to the byline. He's got his head up, but he can't pick the pass. There's so many bodies in there. Then gets out to the edge of the box, circulated back out to Trent Alexander-Arnold on the right-hand side. Just gets one touch out of his foot and just drills it across the goals, probably about half a yard wide of the far post. It's a nice move from England, and I think the directness is what gets you in there.
Keskinen to Jensen, and now Camera makes a run into the box, but the cross from Jensen was blocked by the first defender, who was John Stones, who has had it played against him, and it's actually bounced behind for another corner. Germany have equalised against the Netherlands. Dennis Undav just before half-time. Netherlands won, Germany won in the in the match in the top tier of the Nations League. 2.5 minutes of the first half to go, and Finland with their second corner of the match.
When you see that match that you just read out there, they're the matches that kind of equal amount of possession. When you're in comparison to England dropping down to the B group, you really do see the difference, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. So Keskinen with the corner, couldn't beat the first defender, Lewis. Yes, all very well talking about the Nations League, and there'll be more matches for England against other teams at the top of
exactly.
What was not part of that plan was getting relegated to the second division, which is what happened last time round. If you remember, when England were in the group, we saw a lot of it, didn't we, you and I?
Yeah, we did.
Hungary, Italy, Germany, England drew 3, lost 3, and here they are down in the second division. Gordon on the attack. Gordon now towards the byline, but defenders diving in, 2 of them there going to ground, and Ivanov in the end. Good tackle, actually, put it out of play. Ivanov, the number 4, with the Russian father, who plays for Eintracht Braunschweig in Bundesliga 2. Here is Grealish, stabs it to Gordon. More paper planes floating down from the upper tiers. Lewis tries to thread it through. Gomez was challenged there on the edge of the box, and he was fouled. And it's a free kick just outside the penalty area. The intention was from Gomez to pass it through to Harry Kane, who already had the ball at his feet when the free kick was awarded.
This is a wonderful area for a strike, and Harry Kane went and picked the ball up straight away. He's lurking over the ball, he's standing over it. Grealish is around it, Trent Alexander-Arnold is around it. It's going to be fascinating to see who strikes this. It's perfect for a right footer to curl this one either side of the wall.
Naive challenge from Camera, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
On Gomez. It was just late.
He's done well, Gomez, though. Yeah. Is he, don't you think? He's been really bright.
He's looked great, I think. Transitions, I think, will be written on Lee Carsley's notepad. I think England have looked a little bit vulnerable at times, but on the whole, he's looked really tidy and
clever with the ball.
So clean on the ball.
Yeah. Actually, it's not going to be Kane. Kane's wandered away from this, taken up a position in the wall, and it is Alexander-Arnold. And we know what he can do from these sort of positions. Just to the left of the D, maybe 3 yards to the left of the D. And Alexander-Arnold, right-footed, curls it! Going for the far top corner. Radetzky just almost motionless. Didn't go for it, but was confident it was whipping wide, but not far.
I didn't like the goalkeeper's position there. He was very central. If that's on target, I think it goes in. Do you know what I mean? It had a real dip. He hit it with that flat kind of knuckleball effort from Trent Alexander. What a ball striker he really is. I mean, it's not far away. It's a lovely effort technically.
I think the goalkeeper's position, Matt, is compliments to Trent Alexander-Arnold, because he actually doesn't have a clue which way he's going to go, because he's got the ability to do either.
But the trouble is, you stay central. You get beat on both sides, so you almost got to think, well, I'm going to half gamble towards one, so if it goes there, I mean, it could have gone either corner, and he was struggling. He was stranded, wasn't he?
Yeah, bringing back memories to me of World Cup 78 and seeing lots and lots of goals flying into nets with goalkeepers barely moving. I know you don't remember that.
Not quite.
Ball played through to Keskinen, but out comes Pickford. All in orange, gets there first, plays it forward. Here's Rico Lewis now. Lewis again, second cap for England, second time playing for England as left back, although he's been right back for Manchester City this season in the absence of Kyle Walker. Now square ball to Alexander-Arnold, forward to Saka, left-footed cross for him to the back post. Kane got his head to it. He's battling with Stoll, and it is Stoll in the end who's able to get a foot to it to clear it away, but England back with it with Rico Lewis, and that is the last action of the first half. Lots of England pressure, actually quite a number of chances. Alexander-Arnold with a shot wide, the free kick as well that we've just been describing. Harry Kane did get the ball into the net with his diving header. There was the Saka shot that was clawed away by the goalkeeper, and that early chance for Harry Kane as well that we discussed right at the start of the match. And Finland a couple of times causing problems on the break, but it has felt an inevitability that a goal will come, but it hasn't yet, Matt.
No, it hasn't, and credit to Finland for being dogged and resilient, and they've stuck to their task man to man and been in the right place at the right time. England have to do more. They've got to move it quicker or switch it quicker, and we have looked a tiny bit vulnerable at times, and it's just one of those games that I can see why people are getting frustrated, but it's difficult to break down sometimes.
Is it?
Yeah, I think I totally agree. I mean, the game is being operated in one half of the pitch, on the occasional counter-attack from Finland, but it's difficult for England. It's difficult for any team to break down a block as deep as that, as compact as that, and you've just got to keep being patient and keep doing the right things, keep trying to create those angles, the spaces. And there's players in this England side, I mean, I could name 3 or 4 at least, who have got the ability to pick out that killer pass. Trent Alexander-Arnold's almost found Harry Kane on a couple of occasions, but it is one of those nights to be patient, to keep attacking, and I'm sure it'll come.
Yep, so half-time here at a wet Wembley. England 0, Finland 0.
John Murray, thank you very much. Izzy, I was interested to pick up on a point that you made in commentary about how England do break down Finland, because they're making it so hard for England here at Wembley. And one of the things you talked about was the importance of the movement off the ball. What do England need to do to be able to make that penetration happen?
Well, it's more of the same, really. I've seen some fantastic off-the-ball runs from Gordon, from Saka, from Declan Rice joining in. Harry Kane's remained sort of, somewhat central, occupying the 2 centre-backs, but it's all about finding pressure. We speak a lot in football about a pressing game. Finland are not pressing in England in any way here. They're dropping off into a low block. They're tight, they're compact. They're probably actually operating in a 40 by 40 metre grid, Finland, and that is difficult. You've got to keep shifting them side to side. But like I said, England have to be patient and just keep doing the right things, not get frustrated. It's very easy to become erratic and to sort of snatch at things when the game is like this, but you've got to keep trying, because the moment will come.
Yeah, you've both called for patience, and Matt, one of the things you talked about was not a long ball, but those long passes to switch the play. As he said, keep Finland moving from side to side.
Yeah, with pace as well, Kelly. Not those lofted ones that drift over there. Get it out your feet. Sometimes it's along the ground, but it's a grass cutter, it's a pinger, where you really zip it out there with pace, and it just that second more for Anthony Anthony Gordon makes his mind up that his first touch, and he's got the space to go at the defender. You just want to raise that tempo as often as you can, because otherwise you slip into this kind of lull, don't you, where it becomes a bit drab and a bit slow, and that's better for Finland. So got to keep moving it quick, and those long switches are key for me.
Matthew Upson, Izzy Christensen are here at Wembley. It's England 0, Finland 0 at half-time. We'll be back for the second half very shortly. This game, a Nations League match in League B. Elsewhere in England's group, it's Albania 0, Georgia 0, Czechia 2, Ukraine 1, and Ireland 0, Greece 0. In League A, it's Hungary 0, Bosnia and Herzegovina 0. Netherlands 1, Germany 1. And watching that one, Ajax tweeted to say that Louis van Gaal is there watching it with a glass of red in hand, and frankly, in a drizzly Wembley, it seems like he's got absolutely the right idea of how to watch his football. League C, Latvia 1, Faroe Islands 0, North Macedonia down to 10 players 0, Armenia 0, and in Group D it's Andorra 0, Malta 0. We'll round up the rest of the day's football headlines and sports headlines, and we'll be back for second half commentary of England against Finland after the BBC News with Johnny Freeman.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Kelly. Good evening. The US Vice President has accused her Republican rival for the presidency of having a real problem with the truth ahead of a televised debate between the two candidates in just a few hours' time. Kamala Harris is going up against Donald Trump for the first time since officially receiving the Democratic nomination after current President Joe Biden stood aside. Their performances could prove pivotal in the battle for the White House. Aaron Call is a presidential debate expert at the University of Michigan. He says an estimated 50 million Americans will tune into the 90-minute showdown.
There's no other event in the campaign, speeches, press conferences, the conventions that will gather anywhere near this number, this audience of tens of millions, approaching Super Bowl-like ratings. One night, one opportunity for both to reach so many people.
Back here, MPs have overwhelmingly backed government plans to cut winter fuel payments for millions of pensioners. Ministers say a big hole in the public finances is behind the decision to make the benefit means tested. Some Labour MPs abstained in a vote in the House of Commons earlier. The Conservative leadership race is now down to 4 candidates. Mel Stride has finished bottom of the latest round of voting. Robert Jenrick ended up top of the table with Kemi Badenoch in second, and Tom Tugendhat and James Cleverly jointly in third. And more details on the King and Queen's visit to Australia and Samoa next month have been revealed. The trip will be Charles's first foreign royal tour since he was diagnosed with cancer. The itinerary includes a traditional barbecue and some more formal ceremonies.
This Cultural Life, where my guests reveal their most important influences and inspirations.
You have to just think, I'm going to play this to the best of my ability.
Dame Judi Dench.
And with everybody else in the cast, it's like a recipe.
Sir Paul McCartney.
My dad played the piano. He'd left school at 14, but he was very interested in words.
Whoopi Goldberg and many more.
The act of having access to my imagination is the thing that got me going.
This Cultural Life with me, John Wilson. Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sport
with Kelly Cates.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
And 5 Live Sport comes to you from Wembley this evening for England against Finland. It's 0-0 at half-time. We'll be back with second half commentary very shortly. That one was a 7:45 kickoff, so not long to go until the second half gets underway. First of all, we're going to head live to the United States, where we're only 3 days away from the start of the 19th Solheim Cup, the golf's women's team event between Team Europe and Team USA. Of course, there is commentary of that across 5 Live and Sports Extra. The BBC's golf correspondent Ian Carter already in situ at the Robert Trent Jones Golf Club in Virginia and joins us right now. And Ian, it's not the only thing that's taking place in the vicinity. There's a huge presidential head-to-head taking place this evening, not too far away from you. Are we expecting similar fireworks on the course?
Yes, as we were hearing in the news, of course, it's Trump versus Harris in Philadelphia tonight to help determine who's going to be in charge down the road from here in the White House in Washington from next year. Here, the USA versus Europe for the Solheim Cup. And you know what? Potentially just as feisty as it might turn out tonight on the presidential debate. We're expecting up to 100,000 fans over the week here, Kelly. The vast majority are obviously going to be Americans. And frankly, they're desperate for a win to end what has been an unprecedented line of European success of late in these matches.
And they've got Suzanne Pettersen and Stacey Lewis back as captains for Team Europe and for Team USA respectively. And they've not had too long to wait, this USA crowd, have they?
No, that's right, because we had the tied match in Spain only a year ago, and because of the COVID pandemic and the way that the Ryder Cup has now been shifted to odd years, they've now shifted the Solheim Cup into the even years, and that's why we've only got 1 year as the gap here. Now, from Europe's point of view, Suzanne Pettersen is going to go into this one much more authoritatively than she did in Spain last year. She admits she was just too laissez-faire in the build-up. Europe lost their first 4 matches on the opening day. She needed to read the riot act after the first day's action just to get Europe back on course, and it's that much stricter approach that will be in place this week.
I learned my lesson in a way, but it also like just being authentic, being me, is what they expect from me. So, and I think that's probably the passion and the energy that I always had for this is what I want to kind of pass on to the players and let them really feel it, why I really fell in love with this. So I think they want to have a strong leader. I think that's what the players are looking for, so I'll do my best.
I sense they're desperate to win, and we're being told that, you know, we could have up to 100,000 fans here this week. This could be one of the more hostile Solheim Cups, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, I think, yes, for sure, and I think it's going to be very different from Toledo, in 21, where we literally had, it was even more hostile probably. I mean, we had literally 0 Europeans there because of the COVID. So it's going to be a very different experience. It was an odd experience in 21, but this is going to be the real playing away, where you have the kind of chant between the European fans and the American fans. I think it's going to be loud. I think it's going to be like a lot of energy, and I think it's going to be a great event for women's golf.
Well, Suzanne Pettersen mentioned there that the atmosphere is likely to be hostile for this Solheim Cup, and it's one of the reasons why world rankings aren't necessarily the best way to kind of try and predict this. But they do favour the USA for this Solheim Cup. So on paper at least, and that's all we can go on for now, do they look in better form than Europe?
I think they do, the Americans, to be honest, but we know you can just rip up the form book on these occasions. The average world ranking for the American team just under 27. The Europeans, they average 40, so that shows you the gulf in class overall. But you look at the respective Solheim Cup records and you have to say Europe dominate in that regard. So it really is a fascinating contest when it gets underway on Friday.
Ian, really looking forward to it. Thank you so much for that. Ian Carter back on Thursday for our Solheim Cup preview programme from 7:30 to 8:30 on 5 Live. And then you can listen to commentary of day one on the BBC Sport website and app from 5 o'clock and join 5 Live from 8:30 until close of play. Britain's Davis Cup campaign gets underway tomorrow. They play Finland as well. They're in Manchester on the first day of a round robin, which also includes Argentina and Canada. Our tennis correspondent Russell Fuller is in Manchester for us. And Russell, we saw and we heard how US Open semi-finalist Jack Draper was absolutely drained by that tournament and by that match in particular. So will he be playing tomorrow?
Well, possibly, Kelly, although I think it's probably more likely that Captain Leon Smith will save him for the ties on Friday and Sunday. And the reasons for that are that he only got back from New York on Sunday morning, so there's jet lag to factor in. There's the inevitable tiredness that comes with reaching your first Grand Slam semi-final. There's some soreness too because he had some tightness in his right leg and had strapping on that leg in the quarter-final and the semi-final in New York. And also he's only had the one practice session here in Manchester, and that was at the Etihad today on the campus there, where there are actually 6 indoor tennis courts, and he was practicing with the hitting partner for the team this week, Charlie Broom, and also the doubles player Luke Johnson. And I think Leon Smith will probably be considering also that Finland tomorrow are the weakest of the 3 teams that Britain will have to play, so perhaps Friday is a more realistic target for Jack Draper. We'll know an hour before play starts, and play gets underway at 1 o'clock.
And Russ, given that we've had a year at least of this could be Andy Murray's last whatever it is, we've now got at least a year of this is Andy Murray's first, or the first without Andy Murray, and it's the first GB Davis Cup team since his retirement. So who's in the lineup for this one?
So we have a surprise name such as Billy Harris, who's now just outside the world's top 100, but has spent most of his career outside the world's top 200. And if Jack Draper doesn't play tomorrow, he's going to make his Davis Cup debut for Great Britain. He came into the team after Cameron Norrie pulled out with an injury. The Wimbledon champion Henry Patton's almost certainly going to make his debut here as well, playing doubles alongside Neil Skupski. And then there's Dan Evans after that 5-hour, 35-minute match at the US Open. And he's been chatting to BBC Breakfast John Watson this morning about what it will be like to play without Andy Murray.
You're always going to miss having, you know, such a good player, such a good teammate, someone to ask advice of. I'm sure Leon definitely would have asked him his opinions from time to time. Being able to have him as an option was a massive thing, and of course we'll miss him, but we can't keep looking at Andy to save us now. It's as he had done for a lot of the times in Davis Cup. We've got we've got players who can stand up, but have got to stand up and be, you know, take responsibility of some rubbers here and get wins on the board. That's just the reality now.
That was Dan Evans speaking to BBC Breakfast's John Watson. Thank you very much to Russell Fuller for joining us. And as he was saying, you can watch GB's match against Argentina live via the red button BBC iPlayer, BBC Sport website and app from 1 o'clock tomorrow. And we'll have half an hour of tennis on 5 Live Sport with Russell from 10 o'clock tomorrow night. Now, though, our focus is back at Wembley for England against Finland. 0-0 at half-time. We're about to head into the second half. Matt Upson is here. Izzy Christensen is here. John Murray is here. And we get underway with Ian Dennis.
Thank you, Kelly. England have not made any changes at half-time. Lee Carsley has resisted such a temptation as England get this second half underway. The game restarts, all in white, playing from right to left as we look against a Finland side all in royal blue. Finland have made a couple of changes which I'll tell you about in a moment, but first of all the England side. Pickford is in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Konsa, Stones and Rico Lewis as the defence. Gomez and Rice in the centre of midfield with Saka on the right, Gordon on the left, and Grealish once again in that central role behind Harry Kane, the captain and the latest centurion in the men's game, as he closes in on the Billy Wright, who's ahead of him on 105 caps in the top 10 of appearance list makers for England. Radetzky is in goal for Finland. Chelman has come on, Benjamin Chelman, who plays his football for Cracovia in the Polish top flight. He's replaced Teemu Pukki, the former Norwich striker, as Grealish picks it up. The other player to come on is Niskanen, as the ball goes out to that right-hand side and sends over the cross. I'm not too sure who. So Chelman came on for Pukki, and in fact it was Uuranen, the left back, who Niskanen has replaced. So he plays for Exeter City, plays as the left midfielder, signed from Dundee United in 2023, and so the 26-year-old comes on for his 21st cap for Finland here, the Exeter player at Wembley Stadium for Finland. So Radetzky in goal, Stoll, Hoskonen, Ivanov and Niskanen, Jensen, Patola, Schüller, Kamara, Keskian and now Chelman, who will lead the line in the absence of Pukki. Ball played forward. It was a good header down by Niskanen as well, as he was covering, and in fact our referee from Denmark, Morten Krogh, has given a free kick to Finland, and I would imagine we're going to see very much similar fare as to we watched in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, Chelman, who's come on, is quite a bullish figure, very physical. Pukki obviously has the goal record, is more of a goal threat, but this guy likes to put himself about and be a nuisance, and I think that probably could be the most effective thing Finland could do at the moment. It's just be difficult to play against, to see where the ball might drop. He's just wrestling here with Konza, as Konza does really well, getting his body in, rolls out of possession and then finds a pass out to Saka and sets England away, but he's now gone down with a bit of a kick to his shin, and that's exactly what Chelman does. He just puts himself about the pitch a little bit.
It's a direct ball launched forward by Ivanov. England, meanwhile, with Konza still down, are attacking. Gordon on this near side, the left, finds Grealish, left corner of the area, links up with Rice, passes the ball in field and quickly cleared away as Harry Kane was waiting, poised inside that penalty area. Jordan Pickford is currently tending to Konza at the moment, and in fact England have put the ball out of play to allow treatment for the Aston Villa defender, and so the physios will come on.
He's struggling a bit, don't know. He doesn't look particularly happy, Konza. He's in some considerable pain. I don't know if he twisted it. It was with that tussle, and as he used his body to roll out of it, he then kind of passes the ball and he just catches his ankle, it looked to me. Did it look like ankle?
It seemed to roll a bit, didn't it?
Yeah, it's one of those that makes you squint. Is that the right word? Squint. I've just seen it. It's very quick, sudden jerk of his ankle. And that, we've all been there, haven't we, Matt?
Yeah.
It's one of those where it can be really painful initially, and then sometimes the pain wears off, but if it doesn't start wearing off and if he still seems to be in discomfort, that doesn't look good for Konza.
It was an unusual movement though, wasn't it? It wasn't doing it when he was kind of planting his foot. It just kind of looked like it gave way a little bit, didn't it? Just from underneath him. And I think you're right, Izzy. I mean, they're not going to take any chances, and Harry Maguire is up the touchline quite vigorously warming up at the moment.
Aston Villa, who at the weekend play Everton, 5:30 kickoff at Villa Park, one of 4 Premier League commentaries that we'll be bringing you on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And next week, the Champions League, the revamped Champions League, of course, is underway, and we will have live coverage on 5 Live Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. So 3 successive nights of live Champions League football to look forward to. Konza is on his feet, but he's still getting tended to by the physios on the far side. England temporarily are down to 10. They're just waiting to see whether he can continue. Harry Maguire has been warming up. Manchester United involved in the early kick-off at the weekend. Uncontested drop ball, and England get the game back underway.
I think a good gauge of whether the change needs to be made or not is the intensity that the potential substitute is warming up at, and Harry Maguire at present is not in any sort of dynamic state. He's doing some static stretching, and I think if he was about to come on, he'd be raising the heart rate a little bit more than he is right now.
Konza's trying to run it off on the far side. England still down to 10. Grealish in a central area, plays the ball, a lofted ball out towards Saka, brought down very nicely off the chest, and then strokes the ball inside. Alexander-Arnold to Gomez on his first start for England. Declan Rice to Gomez. Out it goes towards Saka. Saka runs forward, then he's faced by two blue shirts. Back towards Rice. Deep ball into the penalty area. Headed away by Niskanen. Comes then out towards Rico Lewis. Gomez, with his back to goal, plays it back towards John Stones. Once again, every outfield player is in the half-away towards our left-hand side. Gordon, doubled up on Gordon. Once again, has that little bit of link-up play with Jack Grealish. He goes square. Alexander-Arnold in that central area. Only the second time, incidentally, that Alexander-Arnold has started back-to-back games for England in his international career. As the ball is played forward, and there is Konsa back on the field of players. He just steps forward, and England have the ball once again here at Wembley Stadium. And now with Grealish, edge of the area. Grealish slips it into the channel towards Kane. Cut back. A couple of Finnish players are there. Gordon left-hand side of the penalty area. Nicked on the outside by Grealish to Alexander-Arnold. Rice fires it in. Keeper gets a touch behind for a corner kick. Good advantage to be played by the referee. In fact, has he brought it back now for the free kick?
Yeah, looks like it. Looks like he's called the free kick just inside the D. I mean, there was so much pressure. There's a wave of blue shirts coming out to press the ball one after the other as the England players were just popping the ball to their right-hand side every time. Almost looked like a bit of a rugby kind of move, just handing it off till it gets to the wide of the box, and Declan Rice strikes it with his right foot, tries to drive it into the far post. It's a relatively simple tip over the bar for Radetzky, but you're right, then I think he spotted something earlier on with a challenge, and
it was on Grealish, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and just brought it all the way back because there was no real advantage played.
This is Alexander-Arnold territory.
It is. It's the same as the one at the end of the first half, but just more central. And I think you were interested by the goalkeeper's positioning on that former one, weren't you, Matt? And he has to be central on this one because the ball's central.
Yeah.
Alexander-Arnold or Harry Kane? It's Harry Kane who blasts it, and the keeper makes a fantastic save. He just threw himself away to his right, and Harry Kane is denied. He just went for sheer power.
It looked like it went through the ball.
To
be honest, I mean, he was in the perfect position for it because the ball goes straight through the middle of the wall and is in the middle of the goal, so it was a really good reaction save.
It was a strong hand, wasn't it?
Yeah.
England are attacking right corner of the area. Alexander-Arnold. Important header away by Hoskonen, who also plays for Cracovia in Poland. England try and keep the tempo up with a quick throw on the left-hand side. Gomez just nicks it away, out towards Grealish. Lee Carsley standing tall in the technical area watching on. Grealish hoists the ball out towards that far side, the right. Beautifully brought down by Alexander-Arnold. Rice with a turn and shot. Trying to pick up the pieces was Kane. Rice tries to win it back. Alexander-Arnold, right-hand side with the cross. Grealish was trying to get on the end of it as well. And all of a sudden, Finland are just starting to look a little bit stretched at the back. Still 0-0 on 5 Live. Gomez wraps it into the feet of Jack Grealish, left corner of the area. And this back line, and that was talk about being stretched, literally in the case of Glenn Kamara, who prevented that ball from coming through. Played here in the Leeds United Championship playoff final last season when they lost to Southampton. And that was an important intervention, but England really were putting Finland under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, just having a look at the replay of the free kick, it kind of goes around the inside of the wall. It's a very bizarre position of the wall. John Stones is on the end of it, and Harry Kane tries to just kind of whip the ball around the wall and get it on target. He does that, but it's a good save from Radetzky with his right hand. Really reacts well and just parries the ball high and wide.
10 minutes into the second half, in the company of Izzy Christiansen and Matt Upson. Still 0-0 in this Nations League game. Last manager to win his first 2 competitive games for England was Fabio Capello. A man, of course, you played under back in 2008. Only 3 have won their first 2 without conceding. Steve McLaren, 2006, Ron Greenwood and Joe Mercer back in 1974. But England just can't find a way through at the moment here. Still 0-0 on this wet night at Wembley. Alexander-Arnold midway through the Finland half. Pace just slows down again, and Declan Rice just knocks the ball back to Ezri Konsa. Stones, I wonder when he'll start to make a change.
Yeah, I was just thinking that exact thing, Dano, because this is when, you know, Finland will be very happy with the performance so far and the scoreline. They've been compact and tight, but as the game wears on, they're going to get more fatigued, the Finnish players, and what that does then is it puts the England players at risk, you know, of a late challenge or whatever. And I'm sure there's a lot of Premier League managers watching on, just hoping that their players' numbers go up for the substitute board.
Rice, early ball, finds Kane. Grealish now. Gordon with the shot. Radetzky again, made himself big. Smothering save, picked back up by Gordon, sends over the cross, over the head of Kane, drops inside the penalty area, acrobatics from Kane, and there is Lucas Radetzky once again. And the Finland goalkeeper has made 3 or 4 excellent saves to keep England at bay in this second period.
Well, we've seen one bicycle kick goal from Poulsen for Denmark in the Nations League this round, but that was nearly another one from Harry Kane. He catches it really well.
Here is Kane once again. Kane with a shot! He will not be denied! And Harry Kane, on this special night, lashes the ball past Radetzky. England's latest centurion. And for Harry Kane, that is goal 67 on this landmark occasion. And Radetzky is finally beaten. 1-0.
Well, that's a special night for Harry Kane, and that is a special goal. What a hit. There is no messing about from Harry Kane here. It's almost like, just get out of the way, I'm just going to hit this as hard as I can. Clean strike. One thing in his mind, and he really buries it. He smashes it. Really good contact off the crossbar. One of those goals that you'd look at as a kid and just love to see it hit the crossbar and ripple into the net, and the goalkeeper's diving, but he just can't deal with the pace and the speed of which Harry Kane hits this. Finland are fiddling about with the ball a little bit. Trent Alexander-Arnold, it turns over. It's a lovely ball straight into him. He has a touch onto his right foot, edge of the 18-yard box, just flicks it to one side, and then it's just a clean hit. It's quite central in the goal. Goalkeeper's diving, but it's the power that takes it past off the underside of the crossbar and rippling into the back of the net. Great hit from Harry Kane.
It's the technique, isn't it? It provides that dip on the ball, and it's just such a nice finish, a picture of the ball going in off the underside of the bar past Radetzky, but it doesn't catch me by surprise at all that it's Trent Alexander-Arnold with the assist. A brilliant first time pass into the feet of Harry Kane, and who else?
The man with the golden boots, not necessarily a golden touch, it was more of an explosive touch. And when he was warming up yesterday at Tottenham's training ground in those golden boots, and I said, "You're going to be wearing them tomorrow?" And he said, "Well, yeah, but the pressure on is you've got to score a goal, otherwise if you wear the golden boots you might look a little bit of an idiot." And he has scored, and he's only the 3rd England player to score on his 100th appearance. Wayne Rooney did so against Slovenia in 2014. Bobby Charlton also back in 1970, and his 45th different opponent. He scored as Lewis on his first appearance at Wembley had a chance inside the penalty area, hit it right-footed on the stretch, always going away from that right-hand post, out for a goal kick. And I think now we might start to see some England changes.
Yeah, Harry Kane's not in bad company there, Deno, is he? With those names you've just mentioned, and I think it says a lot about the kind of expectation he has of himself, but also the confidence that the man exudes. I mean, he's not frightened to do something like that, make a statement and call it out, basically, isn't he? You know, pressure, gold boots, but he certainly knows how to deliver, and that was a very nice goal.
Many records he has to his name, most competitive goals, that's now 60 in his 84th competitive appearance. It's his 26th goal in 35 appearances at Wembley, and now means he's scored 10 in his last 8 here at the National Stadium, as a number of England players have been called over, and we are going to see Colwill coming on, Levi Colwill coming on, and I don't think Konsa can continue. Indeed, that is the change. So Konsa is coming off, and Levi Colwill, who made his competitive debut against Ireland at the weekend, comes on for his 3rd appearance. And in fact, Ezri Konsa goes straight down into the tunnel for, I'd imagine, treatment there in the dressing room.
A big ice bucket to put his ankle in for 20 minutes. It's one of those roles that it feels okay at the time now, probably a bit sore, but it's tomorrow morning where you really get the swelling that comes out, so I'm sure he'll be icing and compressing the life out of it.
And we're going to be seeing another change for Finland. Robin Lode is going to be coming on. Another of these Finnish players who plays his football out in America for Minnesota. As this is Kane again, blocked, comes out towards Gordon, couldn't get the shot away, just wouldn't drop onto his left boot, and it was cleared away by Niskanen for Finland. But it's all England, and they're just now trying to work this initiative as Rico Lewis playing on this left-hand side to Gomez. Rice gives him the ball back, Lode waits to continue. Lee Carsley back crouching once again in that technical area, pondering maybe further changes. Eza and Madueke warming up, and now only just returning to the bench down below. 5 Live, BBC Sounds, where England are leading by a 0-0, and England in this group, Ireland 0, Greece 1, so Greece have taken the lead in Dublin, and it's now the Netherlands 2, Germany 2 in League A of the Nations League. So both Greece and England looking to make it 2 wins out of 2 in Group B2. Here comes the change then, and it's going to be Fredrik Jensen who's coming off, a player who's never played his football in Finland, for Augsburg in Germany. Left Finland as a youngster to go to FC 20 in Skada, and so he will come on, and Robin Lode will replace him with, in this second half, 62 minutes played, as another paper aeroplane gently drifts its way to the playing surface. And Lee Carsley looking to make it 2 wins out of 2.
I mean, I'm so glad Harry Kane has put the ball in the back of the net. You know that the game's kind of drifting away a little bit, isn't it? And I don't think we're all going to remember this game massively for the spectacle, but you'll certainly remember it for what it meant for Harry Kane and him popping up and producing a goal on his 100th appearance, which is very fitting.
I wonder if Grealish on his 29th birthday could pop up with a goal. Yet to score actually on home soil, so looking for his first goal at Wembley. Not the only one to be having a birthday in September, is he?
No, he's not. Was that the thing you were going to bring up that you told me off air? That's the biggest anticlimax, if so.
He did build it up a bit, didn't he?
I'm not being funny, that's the story of my life. And after the Bruce Springsteen gags in the first half, I'm not actually sure that is the case. Kane to Gordon. Gordon on the edge of the D, shoots, and it was straight at Radetzky. If I only had the presence of mind to think of something better for a blushing Izzy Christiansen.
All the best people are born in September.
Matt?
Can't argue with that, can you? Jack Grealish? Any others?
John Murray in December might beg to differ.
Kelly?
Anyway.
Kelly Cates, Jack
Kelly
Grealish.
Cates, there you go.
Finland trailing by a 0-0, 64 minutes played. We're with you through until 10:30. We'll try and bring you as much reaction as we can. If not, it'll be on the 5 Live Football Daily Pod before Connie McLaughlin takes over at 10:30 on 5 Live tonight after 5 Live Sport. And Finland now are going to have to try and salvage something, because the threat on the counter-attack hasn't been as, I was going to say great, it wasn't great in the first half, but it was certainly evident in the
There were
first
moments,
half. Yeah.
there were definite moments in the first half. Keskinen showing his pace, and England just getting caught a couple of times, but I think we've been really good at maintaining the pressure. I don't know whether it's something they may have touched on at half-time, but we haven't looked quite as vulnerable in terms of our positioning and just that anticipation of when the ball breaks away, we've got people in the right areas to snub it out, and England have done a better job of that in this second half.
Lee Carsley called up 4 new faces for this first squad as interim head coach, and we saw a couple of them make their debut, Gibbs White and Gomez at the weekend in Dublin. There's going to be another one to make his England bow here this evening. Nani Madueke is going to be coming on as a low flat ball played in by Finland on a free kick on that far side. Eberici Eza is also going to be coming on. It's Gordon taken out on this near side as he approached the halfway line, and that will be a yellow card to Rasmus Schüller.
I mean, that was a ridiculous challenge, wasn't it? I mean, Gordon went straight past him and just jumped on his back and hauled him down like a rugby tackle. Very obvious and clear yellow card.
So Bukayo Saka is coming off, getting a nice ovation from the Wembley crowd. Don't forget the North London derbies on BBC Radio 5 Live this coming Sunday at 2 o'clock kickoff at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And Noni Madueke, the 22-year-old, comes on. Made that bold move to PSV as a teenager. Chelsea signed him after so much speculation in the summer. He's had an excellent start this season, and he comes on for his England debut. Noni Madueke, a proud moment for him. And Gordon is the other player to come off for Eberechi Eze, who will play on this left-hand side, Madueke on the right.
Yeah, two players, Gordon and Saka, who I think have, over the last two games, tonight and Saturday, I think have set a really high level of wing play, you know, and it's over to Eze and Madueke now to go and stake a claim.
Eze's done well, gets it out towards Grealish. Eze returns the ball to Grealish. Grealish with a low ball into the penalty area, comes out of the box, it comes to Alexander-Arnold. Plays it forward, a little touch by Madueke, gets it back. England all of a sudden look very sprightly in attack. Madueke, inside right channel, the penalty area, onto his left foot, looks for a shooting opportunity. Madueke's shot takes a deflection and almost squeezes past Lukas Radetzky, who dived down quickly to his left-hand side as England lead by a goal to nil.
Yeah, he had the air, Madueke, there, that no matter what happened, no matter what run was going to go off him, he was going to get a shot off in that moment, and he chopped, and then he chopped again, and then he stalled, and then he waited and waited, eventually got his shot off, but just too many Finland blue shirts in that area. The ball ricochets and just rolls into Radetzky in the end. But I agree with you, Deno, the subs have come on and really just tried to lift the mood. It was just fizzling out the game a little bit, and it certainly has lifted in Wembley with those substitutions.
And ball played forward as it tries to control it, can't nick it past Radetzky, but certainly there's a fresh impetus now about England as we hand over to the man who Tony Livesey described as grizzled, our correspondent John Murray.
Thanks, Ian. I think Finland on the back foot again. England leading through the Harry Kane goal, which marks his 100th cap here tonight, given a gold cap in a Perspex case on the pitch before the match. And there he is. I think everyone probably expected that Kane would get a goal tonight, and sure it came, and boy did he hit it as well. In the 57th minute, high into the net, and Radetzky in the Finland goal, who's made some excellent saves tonight, he's kept the score down. Well, there was nothing he could do about that, it just flashed past him. And England now with John Stones. Stones infield towards Angel Gomez, who's had he's really caught the eye, hasn't he, Gomez, in the position that he's playing, the sort of deep-lying defensive position, Matt?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's had he's been at the heart of everything. He's constantly been ticking the ball over. He's showed a different array of skills. He's received it on his back foot once or twice, lovely, really quickly into the space. He's got that simple sideways and backwards, a forward pass. He likes the blind pass as well, where he kind of looks the other way and then fires it in the opposite direction. He's had an interesting game, and plenty of the ball. It's been one of those matches where we've had so much possession, England, that he's been able to showcase himself, certainly with the ball.
Yep, string of chances England have had, but just the one goal so far, and still it is Ireland 0, Greece 1 in the other match in this section. So if it stays like that, both Greece and England will be 2 wins out of 2, and England's next match next month is at home to Greece. Here is Gomez giving it to Eze on the left-hand side. So Lee Carsley's made 3 changes tonight. Here's one of the substitutes, Eze, the Crystal Palace man, doing well, curling it in, and the header down at the back post, took a deflection off the defender who was in there, Niskanen, and off the Exeter City man through to goalkeeper Radetzky. Yep, so Eze is on, Madueke is on for his debut, so 3 of the 4 uncapped players in Lee Carsley's first squad have been brought on. And also Levi Colwell coming on for the injured Ezri Konsa, and let's hope he's okay with the matches that Villa have got coming up. One of our, well, in fact, commentary on their next couple of matches, the match against Everton 5:30 on Saturday, and then 5 Live, the place to hear Villa's first match in the Champions League next Tuesday, and it's an early start as well, so it'll be coming on an early finish for Drive live from Switzerland against Young Boys. Here's Gomez, Angel Gomez for England, back towards Declan Rice, and Rice under pressure from 2 Finland players, but is able to just touch it back to Colwill of Chelsea. Now captain and goal scorer Harry Kane in those golden boots, heading a pass right across to the far side to Trent Alexander-Arnold, and then back towards the halfway line for Angel Gomez again. Rice through the middle, Grealish with a touch back to him. Now Lewis to his Manchester City teammate. Grealish in the box on the left-hand side. Grealish teases the defender, draws him towards him. He's right on the line there, just outside, now inside the penalty area. Grealish playing it back centrally to Colwill, who goes square to Stones. Stones now works it to the right-hand side to Alexander-Arnold. Here's the cross coming in, but that's headed away by central defender Hoskonen, back out towards the far side. And Finland now, I mean, they must be tiring, Matt, the way that England have moved it from left to right, the pace as well, quick and intricate. Still just the 1 goal though, but Eza now back towards Angel Gomez again. Gomez very economical, just gets it under control. Stones, and then Harry Kane's appeared on the right hand side, and England go back towards the halfway line.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost just 2 lines of 5, isn't it? Just blue shirts across, tight and compact, no distance between them. The trouble is, just like there, they win the ball. As soon as they do, goes to a blue shirt, and then it's just turned straight back over again. So the possession percentage in this game is off the charts for England.
And here's Madueke now, made an excellent start to the season with Chelsea and has got his reward. Madueke keeping possession, and he's got a real determination about him. Madueke wearing 23 on his back tonight for his first senior cap, and he was another one, wasn't he, who was part of Lee Carsley's under-21 championship winning squad last year, and now on 22 years old he is. And the ball now with Grealish on the left hand side, number 10 on his back, drifting in from the left hand side, being chased by blue shirts, but finding the pass to John Stones as England continue to attack from right to left. I mean, they are parked inside the Finland half. I'm almost struggling to remember the last time Finland got out of their own territory. Here's Kane again, deep line position. Kane hits the pass high. Alexander-Arnold's onto this, controls it, cross towards the back post, and SH slices the shot on the volley, sort of waist high, and it goes up and wide of the top of the near post for a goal kick.
And every time England have hit a quality longer pass, something has come of it. It's been the key to this game is that switch of play. Kane does it this time, dropping deep into Alexander-Arnold, far on the right hand side. Good first touch and just crosses it. England got lots of bodies in the box, and it's Eze at the back post. He can't quite control it and get it down. He just doesn't get his body over the effort, so the ball goes obviously high and over the ball, but it's still better the way they've moved the ball to create that space.
Another change for Finland. Topi Keskinen, with his tattoo of Wayne Rooney fishing on his forearm, has been withdrawn. The Aberdeen man who started the match brightly, had a couple of chances actually, but he's off the field, and he's been replaced by one of the big young hopes for Finland, actually, Oliver Arntman, who plays in the Netherlands with Go Ahead Eagles. So he's on for his 14th cap to play in the wide position. Started the match against Greece on Saturday in Piraeus, coming on as a substitute here. 1-0, and technically with this scoreline Finland are still in it, but England a second goal, if they're able to get a second, that would be the end of it. And here's Rice now winning it back, playing it square to Grealish. Grealish a little bit of space to his left to Eza, but then Eza quickly closed down. Thought Grealish might have had an opportunity to have a goal there, but now Angel Gomez on the edge area. He thought about a shot, gives it to Eza, curls it in, but that's beyond Kane and all the way through beyond the far post for a goal kick, isn't it?
Yeah, the decision from Grealish, I'll be critical, wasn't great. He needed to pass it into Eza earlier to get him in a more isolated position where he could get his shot off, but the delay from Grealish just allows the defender to get back in front of Eza and tighten the angle for him. But that was a massive opportunity for England to get that second goal.
Still 1-0 England, the Harry Kane goal, just short of the hour. It is Albania 0, Georgia 1 in Group B1, so Czechia 1, Ukraine 1 remains the score there. And as the England band strike up here inside Wembley Stadium, where I think for the time being it is dry, and England going back towards the edge of their own penalty area. 5 Live Sport tomorrow night, another England team will be in action. You'll be able to hear the T20 side from 6:25, so an early finish for Drive. That'll be live from Southampton, weather permitting. I think I heard on the forecast this morning that temperatures are due to plunge in the morning, and County Championship cricket will resume in the morning as well. Commentary BBC Local Radio. Here's Madueke now into the air. Kane with a right foot shot. Kane sweeps it in for 2-0. And now not only has he scored one on his big night, he's doubled it. Both England goals from the captain on the night of his 100th cap, and an erring finish. Harry Kane on the night moves from 66 to 68 goals for England, and that's it, 2-0, match over. Lee Carsley on the way to a second win.
Those golden boots are on fire. They really are in terms of finishing. Another lovely swept right foot, first time strike into the far corner. Super accurate, textbook from Harry Kane, but you have to give a mention again for Trent Alexander-Arnold. I have to say, the first goal, really bright, sharp pass. This one, again, turnover of possession, but he just slips a lovely ball into Madueke, who's been really bright on the far right-hand side since he's come on. He looks so keen to impress, and he has done here. Lovely ball from Alexander-Arnold inside the fullback, perfect weight. One touch, left-footed pass from Madueke inside to Kane. One touch finish from him. Lovely move from England, and a beautiful swept finish with his right foot.
2-0, 2 goals for Kane, as England win the ball back inside their own half as a rare Finland attack is snuffed out. And now Harry Kane, you know what he's like, Matt, he'll be thinking, is there a chance that I might be able to mark the big night with a hat-trick? And the answer to that is yes, there probably is, Harry.
There's a big chance, and he knows it, like you say. I think he's hoping that the service from wide, I mean, Eze and Madueke really have livened it up, and I think that with those two on the pitch and how they're feeling and wanting to impress, it does give him a chance of that third goal, doesn't it, for sure?
Yes, as Angel Gomez now works it to Colwill, who will pass it back to Jordan Pickford, who really has been a spectator in the second half. It feels as though it's almost out of sympathy that they've gone back to Pickford to get a touch of the ball, and then a long left-footed ball through him through the middle, but Radetzky, the other goalkeeper, is out of his penalty area, the Bayer Leverkusen captain, and passes it forward. Here's Rice, and now Harry Kane takes it down in the centre circle, and Kane curls the ball. Here's Madueke, who has already assisted Kane. Madueke into the penalty area on his left foot to shoot. Defenders are there, comes back to Madueke. Madueke's crossed to the back post. Lewis chests it down, and then the shot from Eze, which is blocked. Took a touch off a defender, which took the pace off it. I think it was Peltola that it hit, and Finland were able to clear.
Madueke's looked brilliant when he's come on. I think he's attacked that space in behind, and this all comes from Finland. They've made the decision now, Finland, to go and press England, which is exactly what England will want now, because the gaps in behind with Eze, Madueke running into those spaces is a dream for them.
Well, Grealish very nearly found the pass through to Berici Eze. This is his 9th cap, Eze, and he's yet to score for England. But the great thing, Izzy, to say about Madueke is, and we've seen, haven't we, how well he started the season for Chelsea. I suppose it's probably what any international manager says to someone coming into an international team: do what you do for your club.
Absolutely. There's probably two things: do what you do for your club. But some managers or coaches will say to a player, just keep it simple to start with. Absolutely not. Go at it. And that is what Madueke's done. That's what Eze's done since coming on. And the standard that has been set by Gordon and Saka, like I mentioned earlier, in those wide areas, is brilliant.
A couple of changes for England, and Harry Kane is being substituted. Jared Bowen is going to come on to replace him, so there will be no hat-trick tonight. But you can't ask for much more than this. As Lee Carsley comes forward, shakes hands with the captain. Job done. 2 second-half goals. He's got his gold cap. His family are here to see it all this evening, and he has marked the night with 2 goals, and they're the goals that are going to win it for England.
Well, that's very fitting, isn't it? It has to be said. I mean, he was just trawling around the box there for a knockdown before he came off. You could just see he was hunting that third goal as the ball was pinging around the 6-yard box, but he's come off. He must be delighted with, like you say, John, to be in that kind of moment and receive the 100th cap and to score 2 goals on that evening. It doesn't get much better, does it, for Harry Kane?
Yeah, we've already interviewed him twice in this international window, and I suspect there'll be another one coming before the end of the evening. So you'll be able to hear those interviews tonight, 5 Live Sport on air till 10:30, and if not, on the Football Daily, I'm sure, in the morning, which you can download, subscribe for free. The You'll Never Beat Kyle Walker podcast on there as well at the moment, where he talks about his conversation with Lee Carsley, which resulted in him not being included in this squad. Here's Eze on the left-hand side. Ebericha Eze into the box for England, but good defending actually. Just leaned into by Hoskonen, and Finland were able to get it away. And Jared Bourne coming on. He's another one of the players out there who are looking for their first goal for England. This is his 12th cap, Jared Bourne, after coming on as a substitute in Dublin as well. And that does leave Gallagher and Livramento as the only two outplayed players in this squad, of only 23 in the end, that haven't seen any action. And England have now made 5 changes. Czechia now winning 3-1 against Ukraine. West Ham's Thomas Souček has just scored. His club captain, Jared Bourne, has taken up a position through the middle with Madueke on the right-hand side, Bourne playing centrally.
Yeah, I mean, at this stage of the game, I think there's a lot of movement in and around across that front line, players taking up different position. The only thing that's constant is the fact that Madueke and Eze are staying very wide with that width, but everywhere else you've got the freedom to roam. You know, the game's put to bed, and Finland are looking really tired and struggling to, even when they have the ball, they just can't put anything together to be any kind of threat.
England 2, Finland 0. On the 5 Live social media tonight, we were all asked what Harry Kane goal we best remember. Here's Eze on the right-hand side, so if you look on the 5 Live feed, you'll find that. Eze going round the outside and then playing the ball into the penalty area, but that's cleared near the edge of the box. But Ian asked him the same question yesterday, actually, to the man himself, which was your favourite, and he picked out his first goal on his debut back in 2015 after 79 seconds. He picked out the clinching second goal against Germany here in the Euros, and he also gave a mention to the goal, even though it was a penalty, that actually moved him ahead to the top of the standings, in the all-time standings for England. So those are the 3, but there are so many to choose from over the years. I know you thought about the one against Croatia here in the Nations League.
Yeah.
I think the one at Hampden that made it 2-2 against Scotland, that was a thriller. Here is Eze, now Rico Lewis, and now little ball forward. One of the best goals that he scored for England, I think, was in Warsaw against Poland in what turned out to be a 1-1 draw. Here's Declan Rice now in the centre circle, but the crowd now, the buzz around Wembley Stadium. I can see many people heading to the exits. There are only 6 or 7 minutes of the match. They've seen Harry Kane's 2 goals. They know England are going to win this match, and they are heading for the exits. The tube, the train, never the easiest to get away from Wembley Stadium. And while it's dry, maybe make the move. Here's Rice, Alexander-Arnold on the right-hand side. Rice has continued his run down into the full-back position, but the pass down the line is miss it, out of play for a throw-in to Finland.
It's good to see Levi Colwill in that centre-back position for England. I think himself, he's just so comfortable. He's got a real stature about him and a confidence in his body language, and very good natural balance of his left foot and good user of the ball. You just feel that he's going to have a big international future, is he? Whether it be at left, I know you like him at left back, but for me, centre back, he just looks very smooth and a bit of a Rolls Royce.
Yeah, I can totally see that. I'd go with your advice rather than mine on that one, with you being the former centre-back, but I just like the balance that he gave the front players. He just held back and offered that back support. But actually, Matt, on that, the centre-backs that started tonight, Stones and Konsa, Stones started on the left, and he, obviously for Man City, he operates on the right. What was your thoughts on that? I expected Konsa to be on the left. Yeah, so did I. Yeah, because he's come on the left, he's fielding at left back, I think, hasn't he, for England, Konsa, and again, comfortable. I mean, it's not a huge difference, but when you've got a natural left footer like a Colwill, I think that really does help.
Here's Rice through into the penalty area to Madueke. Bourne tries to make himself available, so congested. Back to Rice now on the edge of the box. Mark Gay now on the field, so the central defensive partnership with Gay coming on for Stones. Gay and Colwill are the 2 currently, so it gives a chance for Lee Carsley to have a look at those 2 together. as Lewis can't keep the ball in on the left-hand side, and it's a throw-in for Finland. Into the last 5 minutes now, England leading by 2-0, both scored by Harry Kane. As I mentioned, the T20 match due to be on 5 Live tomorrow night from Southampton. We've got lots of commentary and coverage to come from the Solheim Cup as well from Thursday, the Davis Cup tennis as well. Oh, poor clearance from Radetzky. And now the ball from Madueke, looking for the run of Bowen, but he just got it wrong and played it too close to the goalkeeper, who was rather relieved to be able to pick it up.
Yeah, he kind of had a bit of space there to maybe go at the defender and get his shot off. That was a moment where you feel like keep hold of the ball and go at the defender who's on his heels in the box. He tries to find that pass, but not the right pass, and comfortably dealt with.
Goal back for Ukraine from Sudakov. Czechia 3, Ukraine 2. As Iceland with Antman inside the penalty area on the right-hand side, a sort of quarter chance, but his ball across the penalty area, no danger, and Pickford's got it.
It's a good early ball, isn't it? You know, just turns early, puts it in the box, but there's no chance you're going to get a Finland player at this stage of the game arriving at the back post on a breakaway. I mean, there's just no one in the box. Everyone's back and doing their defensive duties.
So Angel Gomez up to the halfway line. He's got a big programme coming up in the Champions League as well. We were looking at their fixtures, the run of games that they've got. Lille have got a real testing run of matches in that competition, in the new league system. Next week, lots of commentary and coverage of all of the matches Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday night. Here is Rice on the right-hand side. Arsenal involved, of course. They go to Atalanta next week. Back to the halfway line. Now it's Madueke infield towards Bowen into the penalty area, angles it back, took a deflection. Lewis now just outside the box. Alexander-Arnold, here's Gomez. Gomez winning his second cap. Now to the left-hand side to Jack Grealish. Grealish just teasing it with his right foot, then back to the edge of the penalty area. Lewis is in there, tried to flick it back to him, but just too many Finnish bodies are in there, and they're able to scramble it away again. 3 minutes to go. England come again, looking for the third goal that would absolutely seal this, although surely it's over already, and Finland are able to hack it away again to the halfway line. Still their section of supporters, Finland over there. There are very few empty red seats appearing in there. They are famously, aren't they, Finland, the happiest country in the world. Do you remember that, hearing that?
I remember that fact.
Yeah, they've been voted, Finland, as the world's happiest people for 7 years in a row.
How's that measured then, John?
I'm not quite
We're
sure.
We're coming for them now, aren't we?
We're challenging.
Yeah. Not sure about that.
Well, they're still looking really happy, and they've had 20% of the ball and
Lewis,
no shots on target.
Madueke, and then it breaks down inside the penalty area, and Glenn Kamara is able to pass it away up for Antman with a run from him to the halfway line, pulls it back, plenty of energy there from him, arms whirring, and then back to Kamara, and Finland go back towards the edge of their own penalty area. So 2-0 it is. Lots of commentaries coming up this weekend. Liverpool, Nottingham Forest is the 3 o'clock commentary as the Premier League resumes. Aston Villa, Everton, 5:30 Saturday. Tottenham, Arsenal at 2 o'clock. 5 Live, the place to hear that. Wolves, Newcastle at 4:30. Finland attacking down the right-hand side. And an offside flag, so a free kick to England in their own right-back area. Is that you and me, Tottenham, Arsenal on Sunday?
I believe so.
Yes, I thought it was.
Thoroughly looking forward to that.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Odegaard pulling up with an injury last night, so there'll be news on that, and I'm sure Mikel Arteta will have been relieved to see Bukayo Saka leaving the field here. I think if Saka had picked up an injury tonight, I think we might have expected to see Mikel Arteta in the post-match press conference.
No Declan Rice as well.
No, suspended.
Yeah.
Here's Grealish for Eza, and Eza to Bowen, and then back to Rice. And so what do you think then? 2 matches for Lee Carsley. Obviously we'll discuss this with Kelly at once the match is over, but you can't ask for too much more.
I think he must be happy. I mean, you win both games. There's been good performances. I think it's difficult to get a measure against the opponents that England have played, but nonetheless you can only do beat what's in front of you and play in that way. And yeah, he looks very confident, John. I will say that. I think he speaks confidently as well.
Yeah. Here is Gay. Mark Gay swings a pass, right-footed. Grealish is right over here on the left touchline, chests it down. Minimum of 5 minutes of added time as Gomez. Again, those twinkling little feet of Gomez, a backheel flick from Eza. Gomez is trying to get in there, Lewis is in there as well, so congested. And in the end, it is scraped away by Peltola. Rice, though, back towards the edge of the penalty area. And then finally, Ivanov, the central defender, for once takes the ball away from his own penalty area, and Arntman concedes a throw-in on the halfway line. Certainly one of the talking points, Angel Gomez, the number 19. Adilson Angel Abreu de Almeida Gomez, to give him his full name. His name is almost longer than he is, but he has acquitted himself extremely well. His dad did talk to the Portuguese FA at one stage about him possibly playing for Portugal. Remember, he made his Manchester United debut as a 16-year-old. Didn't happen for him there. Made the bold move to go abroad and to France, went on loan to Boa Vista, and now here he is, looking very comfortable in the England midfield, having come through under Lee Carsley. Here's Grealish on the left-hand side into the penalty area, drives it right across the 6-yard box, groans and gasps. No one could get a touch for England in the middle to make it 3-0. But Rice recovers possession. Alexander-Arnold has had another good night in an England shirt, playing at right back, but also, as he does for Liverpool, stepping into the midfield. And England go back towards the halfway line in the second minute of added time at the end of this Nations League match. Still Netherlands 2, Germany 2 in the big match of the night, and still Ireland losing 1-0 at home to Greece. So it's going to be two wins out of 2, it would appear, for both Greece and England. And as I say, you have to finish top of the group in order to be promoted, and Greece are now 2-0 up in Dublin. So Ireland 0, Greece 2. And were you to finish second in your Nations League group in the second tier, you would then be involved in a playoff against one of the teams that finished third in the top division. Here's Madueke on the right-hand side, back towards Alexander-Arnold.
It sets up the Greece game a bit better here, doesn't it, in next month, and a bit more pressure and hopefully a bit more of a balanced game.
You'd certainly like to think that.
Yeah.
Finland came with a very clear target in mind, and England really were far too good for them, despite the couple of chances that Finland had in the first half. It could really have been many more. Radetzky's made some very decent saves, and 2-0 it is. Couldn't stop either of the Harry Kane shots from the golden boots, and now Grealish is away down the left-hand side. Two men with him, clips it in field towards Eza, then Grealish again puts his foot on the ball. Grealish then just drifts in field. Eza's making the run, Grealish couldn't find him. Lewis puts in the challenge. Gomez back to Grealish. Now Eza again flicks it, scoops it back to Gomez, who is always available. How many touches he must have had tonight, Angel Gomez. Now Rice, Declan Rice to Eza. Eza, two men either side of him. Camera puts in the challenge, then back towards Colwell on the halfway line. And England with the ball halfway inside the finish half. Eza's caught in possession, actually, and now it's played forward through the middle. Chelman, though, is dispossessed. Excellent. There's applause there from Colwell, and Gay just plays it forward. There's space now down the right-hand side. Madueke likes the look of that. Madueke into the penalty area, but then gets his shot all wrong and just slices it high across the 6-yard box and beyond the far post for a goal kick. And we have got just over a minute to go.
That's a waste for Madueke, wasn't it? It was brilliant defending by Gay just to intercept the Finland transition, but he releases Madueke down that right-hand side. He's got all the grass in front of him to drive into, and it was just a bit of an erratic attempt on goal, but he's been largely positive since coming on, Madueke. I think he's looked really lively. I was noticing Lee Carsley pointing at him from the technical area just to keep the width on that right-hand side. It seems to be a real feature of how he wants the team to play, which we've certainly seen over the last 2 games.
Grealish draws a foul on the left-hand side. So next month in this group, England play here against Greece, and then England go to Helsinki. So those matches, you'll hear them on 5 Live. And then in November, Greece away, and the final match in the group is against the Irish here at Wembley. Those are the other matches that Lee Carsley will have, and And then there'll be a decision to be made. The official line is that the recruitment process continues as Bowen makes a move down the right-hand side. But that's it. The ball bounces out of play. And it's been England's night. And it's Lee Carsley's night as he makes it 2 wins out of 2 as the interim head coach. But above all, it's been Harry Kane's night, winning his 100th cap here at Wembley this evening. And he has scored both goals to take his total to 68 for England in 100 appearances. Both goals in the second half. And he has all of his teammates. I see John McDermott as well, who he knows from his days at Tottenham now, the top man at the FA, just give him a rub on the back of the head. And he is the man in the headlines yet again for England, Harry Kane.
The night belongs to him, John, and his golden boots. And so fitting for Harry Kane. It's a match that's not going to live that long in the memory, other than for that reason. And 2 super sharp finishes. The first one that was hit with real venom and power and almost frustration of like, get out of the way, I'm going to make this happen, and he did. And then the second one, real centre forward finish, sweeping right foot first time. But you know, that's the moment of the game. The rest of the game was, you know, we can pull it apart and talk about Finland and how they sat deep and how England played, but it belongs to Harry Kane, and personally I think it should stay there.
Yeah, there wasn't much of a test at all from Finland offensively, but it's really challenged England's own style of play and the players that are on the pitch to, you know, to stick to good habits when you're not receiving the amount of pressure that you maybe want to receive to play quick, sharp play. They had to figure things out a little bit, England, and they've come through that test. But defensively, not much to do at all. But offensively, a lot for Lee Carsley to think about going into the next round of games, indeed. Because there's some standout performances, like you say, Matt, Harry Kane with the 2 goals, and I think Angel Gomez and Trent Alexander-Arnold in particular. I thought he showed his class again tonight.
Yeah, I'm not sure really how many conclusions we can draw about, you know, whether Lee Carsley is any closer to getting this job on a permanent basis, but he can't do much more than this. 2-0 in Dublin, 2-0 here tonight at Wembley against Finland. 2 wins out of 2, and he's in the centre circle clapping those who are still inside Wembley Stadium, which also includes those 1,500 people from Finland who look as happy as Larry despite the defeat. But England 2, Finland 0, the final score. And Kelly Cates is here with us in the commentary box at Wembley.
Yes, England 2-0 winners against Finland on Lee Carsley's home debut here at Wembley, courtesy of 2 Harry Kane goals on his 100th England appearance. Here at Wembley, John Murray, Ian Dennis, Matt Upson and Izzy Christensen, and the story is all about Harry Kane. As we've been hearing, this is not a game that will live long in the memory, but the moments for Harry Kane will live long, not just in his memory, but for those of the England fans who were here to see it, because they are significant. And Matt, he's showing absolutely no signs of slowing down.
Certainly not with his finishing, Kelly. I mean, I thought he took both opportunities, as you'd expect in the class that he is. He's a class finisher. He knows where the goal is. He's instinctive. I think his mindset on the first one was one of just kind of like, get out of the way, I'm just going to make this happen. I'm sick of us having all this pressure. We're not benefiting, we're not getting the goal, we're not getting ahead in this game. And he just took it upon himself, flicked it onto his right foot after a good early pass into him from Trent Alexander-Arnold. And he just hits it with real power. It had a bit of dip. It was quite straight, but honestly, the goalkeeper just couldn't react. Off the crossbar, rippling the back of the net. It was a lovely moment, lovely goal. And yeah, you know, he decided to make it happen, and that he's been that player many times for England.
Yeah, the numbers aren't dipping, Izzy, but there have been criticism of some of the performances, particularly over the course of the Euros last time out. But is Harry Kane adapting? Does it necessarily, you know, should we be looking for the Harry Kane of old, or is this new version of Harry Kane maybe something we'll see more of in the future?
Well, I think as you get older as a footballer or any professional athlete, you've got to adapt in some capacity. And I think on the football pitch, the way that you adapt is in your brain. And I think you've got to start figuring out quickly, you know, what spaces do I need to be in? What can I get away with, you know, to cut the running? And that's not cutting corners, that's being intelligent. And, you know, we're speaking about, you know, John said in commentary, Finland ranked 63rd. We're talking about a huge gulf in teams. There wasn't much out of possession for England to do tonight, because that takes its toll on you as a player physically. And I would imagine if, preliminary stages of Lee Carsley being in post here, if it does continue in the future, I imagine when they're playing higher ranked opposition, there's going to be an element of pressing involved and, high energy, win the ball back high up the pitch. I think my questions towards Harry Kane would sort of divert more into that sense, but there's absolutely no question for me about in possession. I think he's one of the best footballers I've seen in the Premier League. I think, even in the world, because of his game intelligence, and he's got the intelligence to adapt as he gets older. And we've seen tonight, the class comes through in the end, and those two finishes were absolutely sublime, and he just took it by the scruff of the neck. The occasion doesn't get the better of him. It was all about him tonight, and he delivered again in an England shirt.
Do you get the impression that as time goes on, and physically, I think he will change. Everyone does. I mean, I cast my mind back to someone like Alan Shearer, who completely adapted his game and had a brilliant finish to his career, playing in a different way. And managers almost had to acknowledge that. And there's that many young, energetic, bright, sharp players that can play around him that he'll just adapt, and a manager will have to identify that. And play to that strength, and it could be the strength for everyone else as well, because a couple of times he's shown his range of passing, but the finishing never leaves you. I don't think when you get to his level, he'll always be able to hit those finishes.
How does the level of opposition in the Nations League affect his standing going forward? Because when you're in the Nations League Group B, as they are, they're playing teams like Finland, Ireland, Greece, not at the same level as teams who they've played before in the Nations League, such as Croatia, Spain, the Netherlands, Belgium. They're playing against better sides. So therefore, against Ireland on Saturday and then again tonight, he's occupying the central defenders, whereas against better opposition, he's dropped a little bit deeper.
It may well help his overall performance, shall we say, but his goal tally is going to be better playing in these games. He scored 2 goals tonight, and like you say, what group England play in? I mean, we're obviously desperate for promotion to get back where we need to be, playing those countries and playing in those teams, but teams that will come out, he'll find himself in different positions. You're absolutely right. Tonight it was difficult for him because it's, where do you go to? You're so deep, you're so high up the pitch all the time because Finland is so deep. He doesn't get that many opportunities to counter-attack. All those clever movements where he drops deep, spins balls in behind for on-running players that I think he can do brilliantly. You don't need the huge amounts of mobility for that. You've just got to have, like Izzy said, the brain and the technical capacity to do it, and he has that in abundance.
Hasn't Lee Carsley said as well he wants him to be more of a poacher? He sort of recognises that now in Harry Kane.
Yeah, and I think that when you've got a player that knows where the goal is, like in the way that Harry Kane does, I think you've got to find a system and play players around that are able to get the ball into certain areas where he can be that poacher. And I think you just look at the second goal in particular, Harry Kane's first goal tonight, it comes from Finland trying to play out. Alexander-Arnold plays the ball straight into Harry Kane. There's no building out from the back, there's no building the attack. It was bang straight like an arrow into the feet of Harry Kane, and I think that tells you a lot about what players think of other players. Is like, as soon as you win the ball, bang, I'm looking for him. And I think Harry Kane, and the other thing I would say is that it's, as whoever is in the technical area, whoever's the manager of England, I think the one thing they can adapt with a player like Harry Kane is game time, and I think that that's one of the things you have to take care of from a physical perspective. But also, if you're not doing it, if you're not cutting the mustard on the pitch, if you say, then somebody else is ready waiting in the wings. And it might be, we looked at Cristiano Ronaldo's role the other night. He actually came on at half time and he ended up having a big impact on the game, and some people don't like him, but unfortunately you can't argue with the mentality that he's got. And I see Harry Kane playing a role that could be adapted if necessary.
Speaking to ITV, Harry Kane has said, it was a big night for me. I'm really proud to reach 100. Lot of talk about it, and he said, what I'm like, I want to score goals, so I'm really pleased. He talked about the criticism of the performances as well, and he said, I think whenever you're doubted through your career, it makes you more determined and more hungry to prove people wrong and prove to yourself you can still play at the top level. So I'm still excited for the future, and that leads us on to a question that we sort of covered in pre-match, but for anybody who wasn't listening to the build-up to this game at Wembley, Matt, the question is whether Harry Kane has a part to play in England's future. We've talked about his development. It's whether or not whether it's Lee Carsley who's long term, and at the moment that's not a decision he has to make, is how long Harry Kane is going to carry on for him, or whoever comes in as full-time England manager. Do they need to make Harry Kane part of their long-term future plans for 3-4 years, maybe for the next cycle?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think you can always plan for that, but ultimately it then comes down to, well, who's performing, and those plans will change. You can plan 3-4 years, but if people aren't performing on the pitch or something's not quite right, then you have to adapt and change it. But absolutely, with what he still has to offer, he's got, in my mind, a huge part to play. I mean, how old is he? 31. So he's still got plenty of time. He's still in that area where you think you're physically in a really good place. I think what Izzy said in terms of managing the minutes in the games is going to be really key, and how impactful he can be in certain moments. But look at the quality that he's shown tonight. I've just seen the second finish again on the replay. It's a really, really good finish. First time with his right foot. He's got a massive part to play. It's what the manager feels his role is, and also using the youthful players that are around him that we've been talking about forever. And the abundance of Palmer and Foden and Bellingham and Gordon, Saka, amazing talent. There's nobody better for me to lead that line and pull that all together, because he's so unselfish, Harry Kane, isn't he? You've got to have that ruthless streak of a goal scorer, but he's very collective in and around the box with his decision making when it needs to be, and that makes him a great foil.
And as you said earlier, it's not as though there's an abundance of out-and-out number 9s that are going to be available. I mean, Ivan Toney maybe was the closest to that, a couple of performances, but he's now playing in Saudi Arabia, and isn't necessarily going to be at the levels that England required, even though he played a useful part at times.
Yeah, I mean, for me, brutal, but I don't think Ivan Toney can be considered, in the level of this England team now. I mean, he played a tremendous part in the Euros, small, but, in terms of minutes, but big in terms of impact. And he did a job for Gareth Southgate, but I think, playing at that level week in, week out probably isn't the best to equip you for international football. I suppose N'Golo Kante would prove otherwise during the Euros, but I think if we're talking about competition for Harry Kane, very, very difficult to find who that would be. I think Ollie Watkins is brilliant, but he's not quite had... He probably needs a string of games at international level, and how's he going to get that when we've got Harry Kane that just keeps scoring goals? But Lee Carsley's played, I think it was Anthony Gordon as a false 9 in the European Championships at under 21 level. Which, can Anthony Gordon do that? I'm not sure.
Noni Madueke is waiting to talk to John Murray.
Yes, here he is. Always good to talk to a young man who's played for England for the first time, first senior cap. Noni, you must be very proud of yourself.
Yeah, no, it's great to make my first appearance for the national team today. I'm really proud of myself, and it goes to show that when you put in hard work and you're dedicated to your craft, you can go as far as possible. So I'm really buzzing.
What's the week been like for you?
Yeah, no, it's been a great week. The boys are great. The staff and the players have made me feel really welcome. So it's been a good week, and I'm just buzzing to make my debut.
Yeah. We were just saying in the commentary that I imagine that any international manager will say to a club player who's playing well, getting his first opportunity, just do what you do for your club team. Yeah. Did you feel you did that tonight? It looked it to me.
Yeah, no, I just tried to go out there and be direct and try and cause problems. Probably a couple shots I would have liked to have done better with, but got an assist for Harry on his 100th appearance. You can't really get much better than that, so yeah.
You can't, you're right there. Those goals will be replayed for decades and decades, and there you are.
No, for sure, yeah. It's fitting that Harry got both the goals. It's his night, and we wanted to make it a special night for him, so...
What's it been like for you to work at close quarters with, all of the stars that you've been working with, but particularly Harry Kane?
It's fun to work with Harry, because if you give him the ball in the box, he's going to get you an assist. So it was a terrific finish, and but all the boys, Stonesy's been great with me, but all the boys in general, Deck, Jack, it's a great group of lads, and it's been a great week.
Did you know you were likely to get your chance tonight?
Yeah, no, I knew I was going to come on. I didn't know when, but I knew I was going to make my debut, so I'm just happy it all went pretty well.
Must have given you a real taste for it.
Yeah, no, for sure, definitely. Just can't wait to get back to Chelsea, keep performing, and hopefully be back here in October.
Well done tonight, Nonny.
Thank you very much.
Well done. Thank you. There we go. Nonny Madueke making his first appearance for England tonight, and off he goes. Big smile on his face, Kelly. Big smile.
I'm not surprised, John. Thank you very much for that. So Angel Gomez, Rico Lewis, Nonny Madueke are all making appearances for England this evening. Nonny Madueke leaves the interview with a big smile. Does he have every right to leave the pitch with a big smile after that performance, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think you could almost feel the smile coming through the radio, couldn't you? It was really nice to hear that interview with John. And yeah, I think that I said during commentary that the standard of wide play has been set by Saka and Gordon in these last two games, and the challenge for Madueke and Eze when they came on at the same time was to go and better that or bring the life. And I think you mentioned as well, Matt, they just lifted the game a little bit with their enthusiasm and, you know, the pace. And I mean, to have a contribution to the game like Madueke has, I think he's fully deserved his debut, and I think his form at the start of the season has been brilliant, and he's a player who, again, the future could be very, very bright for.
He's one of 6 players, I think, in this England squad that served under Carsley when they won the under-21 Euros in 2023. So Carsley felt he needed to sort of like freshen up the squad after taking over from Gareth Southgate, and he'll be somebody who is looking to try and build on the debut after his international bow tonight.
From one of the newest players for England to one of the longest standing, Jordan Pickford is with John.
Yes, he is. Jordan Pickford, 70th cap tonight. Jordan, just the 5th man to play in goal 70 times for England. They're serious numbers now.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Yeah, definitely, but I think...
But a quiet night.
Yeah, quiet night, but it's one of them where as a goalkeeper you've just got, you never know, that one moment, that one chance they might get. I thought the lads were brilliant tonight, you know. We had a few transitions and we regained our shape and got after the ball very quickly to give ourselves the opportunity to go and break and play on the front foot again. But yeah, no matter if it's quiet or busy, it's a clean sheet, 2 clean sheets in the week, and very happy with.
Yeah, in the first half, I don't know about you, those sort of flashbacks coming of Iceland, you know, the danger that they showed tonight that they did have on the break.
Yeah, every team's going to have opportunities. That's international football. You play top tier opponents, you play mid tier opponents, but everyone's going to have the opportunities. And like I say, it's about us regaining that shape. If they do get a transition or a counter attack, how quick can we get back and get around the ball? And which I thought we did really well tonight.
Under the new manager, the interim manager, so 2 wins, 2-0 wins. Can we draw any conclusions from these 2 matches? You can't do any more than that, can you?
No, it's new. It's been a short camp, and felt like the manager. There's a lot of the young lads who've won the 21s Euros with the manager, and they know the ideas, but then it was refreshing as well for some of the senior lads who've not worked with the gaffer before, and just learning. I always want to learn, I always want to improve, and it's been a good week for me.
As one of the senior men, I'm going to ask you, would you like to see him get it on a permanent basis?
Yeah, you know, I think with England, like you're seeing tonight and over the week, there's a pathway from the young age groups, the amount of people that come through the 16s all the way through and get the opportunity to play for the seniors is there, and it's been there with the manager side as well, because my first manager at under-21s was Gareth, and then he had 8 years of the senior level, so there's always that opportunity to play around coach.
But you know who's getting the headlines tonight, don't you? Listen, I don't know how many times I've spoken to you about Harry Kane. Tell us something we don't know about Harry Kane.
I don't know. No, I think everyone knows everything about Harry. He leads by example, and for me, it's a great honour. For him, you know, he's a 10th player to make 100 caps or more for England, and to share the pitch with him tonight was a great honour. You know, you've got Harry Kane making his 100th start, and you've got Angel Gomez making his full competitive debut. So yeah, it's a good balance. But no, Harry shows why he deserves that 100th cap, and it's a massive honour and for him and his family, and something he'll cherish for the rest of his life.
How do you think he's maturing?
Yeah, I think the same as anyone, like our age group, he's 31, I'm 30. I think we've got them ideas in our head that we always want to learn, we always want to improve, and we always want to keep pushing our levels, and that's something Harry's done over a number of years, and I think personally it's something I do as well. I want to keep pushing, and it's my 70th cap night. I think I'm only 5 behind Harty and David Seaman, so another push, another target for me to chase.
100.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But I've got to keep working hard away from here, and I've got to work hard at club and keep putting performances, keep improving. But that's something in my mentality I have, and something I'll keep doing.
Jordan Pickford, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you. There we are, Kelly.
John, thank you very much for that. Jordan Pickford as one of the most experienced England players, with the mature, experienced view on when he was asked about whether Lee Carsley should get the job permanently. He gave a very politically sensible answer that doesn't upset any incoming manager, should it not be Lee Carsley, but also keeping his hand in with Lee Carsley. But he talked about the importance of that thread back through the different age groups, and that, of course, is what Lee Carsley brings into the job. We'll talk about Carsley and the future England manager between now and 10:30 on 5 Live Sport. But Deno, interesting to hear from Jordan Pickford, just to give a sense of the continuity of this England team, because as he said, it goes all the way back for him through Gareth Southgate, playing with him at the youth levels, and then bringing him into the side. Now it could be Lee Carsley bringing the youth through into the team.
Yeah, and not only is that, you're talking there from a coaching point of view, that is then replicated from a player's point of view. So, for instance, when players such as Angel Gomez and Noni Madueke were called up for the first time to the senior squad, there wasn't necessarily that sense of dread, I'm going with the seniors this week, because for the last 4 or 5 years they've already been going to St George's Park, training there with the under-21s and the various youth levels, and there is that joined-up approach now, and often as well, the youngsters will get drafted in to train with the seniors. There is that movement between the various levels, and so there is that linked-up approach now that has certainly benefited England at various levels since St George's Park has been implemented.